Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful Thursday evening. I hope you're having a fine night and looking forward to a great weekend. We had the beginning of the most recent Heritage Signature Auction was today, and I was closer than anybody else on that X-Men cover. What was it? It ended up around 425 or something like that with the juice. So I was off. I was thinking of saying 400, but I was afraid to say 400 back when we were making guesses at it. So what did I was at 300, 325, somewhere around in there, but I was the highest. So I feel vindicated. I really did think 400 was a more likely spot for it to go because, like I said, I've been waiting to see 6 covers in that original, like, say, first 6 uncanny-ish covers, new X-Men covers to come out. And even with the whiteout on it, it was still a great cover. And it had Wolverine on it too. So we're doing good on likes just to get things started. Like Nick Barucci said, I remember because Nick, you said 275. It blew your expectations away as well. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of felt that. And I didn't know about. I think I was talking to Mike today, and he said, "Well, it's a second Wolverine cover appearance, but it's just a great cover. It's a Sentinels. I mean, what more can you ask for?" And what was it? The fifth uncanny cover. So, yeah. Jason said 302. All right, so see, we were on the same wavelength there, Jason. But it's the X-Men blood in us that helps us get a slight better feel for the X-Men market than others, maybe. So welcome, Dark Phoenix, to the show. So lots of things to go over today, and I figured I'd start off with the best of as a reminder, since we can only submit to the best of through Sunday night, midnight Eastern Standard Time. So I wanted to remind everybody that you gotta get your submissions done, for the best of by what do we got? 3.5, not even 3.5 days. So don't delay. I can show you where we're at right now. I've got the screen all queued up here. So this is the preview page for the best of 2022. A few minutes ago, we were at 1,407 total entries, which is, I had to check to see where we were at last year. I don't remember. And I don't want my camera's shaking like that. I think it's just something technical. Anyway, so at 1,400 or so submissions, I'd like to think we'll probably end up around 1,900 before all is said and done. I do think we were around that number last year. So, I think that's a fair thing to expect. Hopefully we'll get as many people voting as submitting. For those of you who are still unfamiliar with how to submit to the best of, it's really simple. Your artwork had to be added to CAF in 2022, but underneath your account and collection menu, there's a enter best of 2022 link right there. Very straightforward. This page will only show you artworks from your CAF gallery that you added in 2022. So I've already got my 5 picks in there, but it's what you do is you just hit the drop menu, pick which pieces, which category you need to assign an artwork to. And again, you can only pick 5. So I have my 5. I can't add a new one. But you have until Sunday. You could actually change your mind. You can come back in here and put a piece to not participating and go ahead and save that. And then it'll free up one of your pieces. And you can come back in and then say, I'm going to pick the piece I got from Andy at the end of the year. And I can put that into the commissions category if I wanted. So very simple. But if anybody has any questions or problems with that, feel free to email me through the support page on the site. I can cover any questions you may have. And but yeah, we want more people participating. You figure we have 10,000 active users on the site, 5,000 plus with regularly updated galleries. I mean, that's a lot of art being added to CAF every year. And so, I mean, not that I want to see 25,000 pieces in the best of every year to have to vote on and go through, but we can do better than say 1,800 or 2,000 entries. So, just keep posting them, and we'll keep figuring out better ways to make this thing work. But the voting is pretty easy too. That will be turned on sometime on Monday. I think I said we'd turn it on Tuesday, but I'm sure Maureen and I'll have it prepped and ready to go on Monday. Voting is pretty simple. It's done category based, and you'll see it when it comes in. And I'll be happy to maybe do a little review of it next Thursday for those of you who want to hold off on doing your votes until we get to that point. So let's see. As Mr. Red Jack says, everyone should do this. It's a great way to show off your gallery to new people. So, I think I know I bet nobody else is seeing the little flickering going on. I've got a couple windows open that we're actually doing some like JavaScripty stuff. So now I've closed those. That's going to make my monitor much happier. Okay. And as Comic Art Boston said, it is easy and convenient. So, yep. We're trying to always make it more accessible so more people will use it. That's the main thing. So speaking of that, I might as well mention the Sketchbook too. That James is going to be hosting a show next month, the first Monday of the month, I believe, where he'll be talking about the Sketchbook with a few other collectors. And so far, let's see, what do we got? 158 submissions to the Sketchbook. He, I think, typically we don't even get 100. So obviously the PR he's been doing for that category for superheroines is working. There every month always happens. There's always these people that come in and don't know how to add art to CAF, like Torello or Evans here. He's an artist. So he shouldn't have created an account anyway. He's a fan artist. So I'll have to go in and let him know that he's not allowed to have a CAF gallery, but he comes in and, he posts it into here. So I'll get that cleared out. I saw somebody else posted a piece by Basquiat. So it happens every year. Just because the Sketchbook thing is up at the top, people just get used to, they don't know what to do. And this was a new user too. I checked it out, Andrea Gabrielli. Oh, see, I didn't put on my better glasses so I can see what the heck I was doing tonight. Here, I've decided I'm gonna go with the nerd look from now on. When I'm doing streams, it's much easier to read stuff. There we go. There, that feels better. But Ronald Shepard's posting quite a few things in there, so always nice to see. But again, we'll see where we end up. I hope he gets about 300 pieces submitted. That'll give him a lot to talk about when they do the show. So as I might as well just show you since we're in here. How do you add stuff to the Sketchbook? Go to your Manage Your Galleries page, and right at the top, and this is why new members who don't understand how to create gallery rooms to post their artwork to, they come in here and this whole thing is blank. They haven't added a gallery room, and they just see this Sketchbook and they assume that's how you add art to the site. So they come in here and use it, and that's what happens. Yeah, it is like a Clark Kent thing, isn't it, Rich? Yeah, I could play Clark Kent, the long-haired Superman. But so there it is. Very simple. You just click add art, and it's pretty much the same kind of form for a regular piece of art for CAF. And if we see great usage out of the Sketchbook in the first couple months, Maureen and I will look into programming it so that you can pull pieces out of your CAF gallery, just like for the best of, to put them into the Sketchbook. We'll work it out. But again, it's back to usage here. And actually, I was hiding that screen, so it's back over to here and here. Everybody knows where that is. So your walls are looking great, Bill. Thank you. Yeah, we had a meme about that, last night too. So I thought, the girls came up with that one where I had to hang a piece of art and couldn't do it. So Thor stepped in and pounded a nail in for me. Anyway, you get the idea. But God, Brett says I nailed the nerd look. All right. Revenge of the Nerds Part 10. Hey, this was like the biggest pair of glasses I could get when I went to get a new prescription. What I asked for was I wanted a pair of glasses that was perfect for sitting about 2 foot from a monitor. And so the thing is, when I wear these glasses, everything 2 feet in front of me is so in focus, it's insane. I mean, I could read every line over at the DMV if they asked me to with these things on. With the other ones, they're bifocals, and I'm still not perfect with those. But these, I love it. I'm gonna keep wearing them. So does it have to be a piece you haven't posted to CAF for the Sketchbook? No, you can post anything you want. Just at this point, like I say, it's new. It's not added into your CAF gallery already. So it's a straight up, like you see right here, this add art link in the monthly Sketchbook box. You just click that and you're adding new. It's never a piece that's already in your CAF gallery. So, yeah, so that's how it works. But the Sketchbook, if it gets more usage, we'll definitely put some time into it. So as far as the change, you couldn't tell from the haircut, huh, Alan? But let's see. This week's been fun. it's been interesting. Of course, we started Monday off with that make offer show with Anthony, and that was a trip. I mean, we knew going into it was going to be a challenge for a lot of different reasons. I mean, just the idea that we'd never done that format of a show before, where people are making offers on artwork that that are on his website. My fear is, people are going to all be coming in at 50-40% of his retail and all that sort of thing. But most people, by and large, I think the average reduction people were looking for was around anything between 20 to 33% was pretty average. I mean, some people were at 10, there were a few people at 40, a few people were at 50, with big volume. So so I was kind of happy with that. We had, I believe, 70 offers come in before the show started, and at least another 40 to 50 came in while the show was live. And during the show, we got through, I don't have the spreadsheet in front of me, but I know that we hit offer 95 by the time we ended. And we did skip over 12. So technically we got through about 83 offers live during the show, but it was again, it was interesting. The challenge over with Anthony, is kind of is just being able to run out there and go through his 28,000 artwork portfolios and trying to figure out where everything is. Did I get a final tally yet? I did not. I mean, when we closed the night, we were at 72 and a half. So, again, and that's with about 40 other offers that Anthony had to go through. So my guess would be, I'll say 85, 90 should be around there. I got a text from Anthony about an hour ago saying that he thinks he's done with he's gotten through all the offers. He thinks, as far as replying to them. I don't know if they've all gotten back to them, but at least as far as pulling all the remaining offer sets and submitting yays or nays or counter offers, he feels he's got that done. I actually found an email right before the show from somebody who I managed to I missed passing it along to Anthony. So I emailed them before the show, just asking apologizing that I screwed up and seeing if they still wanted me to submit it. So yeah, I mean, a good show. I mean, definitely a record show for Anthony of any, of sales. I think before that on Dueling Dealers, I think he was around 37,000. So it was a very good show. Yeah, it was. Again, it was stressful for me, just trying to keep things focused and everything, but it worked out really well. And for those of you who didn't see it, I put together a tiny. Oh, Tariq, good. Anthony did. I know that because we had emailed a bit to Tariq as well, and Anthony did email me tonight saying that he was still trying to work things out, with you. So he's trying. He's trying to work things out. I mean, the other thing we went in there with Anthony was, we had like 10 to 15 offers that dealt with rep art, and it might have been smarter for us to say don't include art from these artists, but we didn't do that. It just made it a little bit more challenging. You can't, our reps margins are what they are. They typically are in that 15 to 20% range on the art, so you can't like knock it down 20%, because you're damaging the artists, the value they're trying to set on their art and everything. So we worked through it. I think by and large we kind of figured out where we needed to be, and if anything that's kind of stood out early on, we kind of addressed those even before the show started. So how long does he need for the dust to settle? I think by tomorrow, for me at least, I think we'll have an answer on most things. The thing is, I prepared a little video thing for those of you who missed the show. I stole a video that Jason posted to Facebook of Anthony's intro song. For those of you who missed out on Anthony belting out his version of a Talking Head song. But after he does that, there's a couple slides, and it shows where they're shy. I think it was the last two slides. The second to last slide had all of the offers that had been paid for and were ready to ship were laid out, and then the final slide is everything that's packed and ready to go to the post office. So it's Marcus says this art's still on eBay. Well, that's the challenge with Anthony. Basically trying to mirror his stuff. He has no formal way of tying his website inventory with his eBay store. So it is always a challenge, but and I don't think there'll ever be a way to fix that. It is what it is. But don't make us listen to that again, Brett. Well, then you might put your fingers in your ears. You're going to have to, because you're going to hear it one last time here. I'm going to play it for everybody. This is the intro, but then just like, again, a couple pictures from the episode on Monday, and then the closing pictures are of all of the artwork that Anthony has. Well, not Anthony packed. I'm sure it's Rich and Bobby taking care of all of that heavy lifting.
How's that feel? I can't seem to face up to the facts. I'm tense and nervous. I can't relax. I can't sleep. My bed's on fire. Sharon, don't touch me. I'm a real live wire. Psycho Sarah, qu'est-ce que c'est? Bye-bye, bye-bye. Claim away. Bye-bye.
Don't jump off that bridge, T. Gleason. Please don't do it. Yes. claim. And yeah, number one Marvel fan, you have to remember, he uses my platform for his website. And but then he posts everything separately through his eBay account. So yeah, you could say he needs a point of sale system, but his website is geared towards his comic art business very well. I mean, it's the platform we have for dealers to work off of is what it is. But Anthony's the only dealer who works with eBay like that, really. That we work with, and so yeah. I mean, I would never program a system tied into eBay like that for him. So yeah, he enters everything. It's not like a Shopify platform where you can put a plug in to simply tie your site inventory into eBay and then have it pull out and stuff. I mean, of course, I have a Shopify store for some stuff, but it is what it is. I agree, Dark Phoenix. Sharon is dang cute. She does. She's the life of the party all the time. The dogs started howling in my neighborhood. Brett, they did in mine earlier when I was editing the video as well. But Mr. Lucky says that Anthony is the greatest showman. He does put on a good show. He I wanted to just go in and start. We never talked about how he was going to start the show, or even that there was going to be a cake. I'm all business. I just want to get in and start doing the offers, knowing that we were going to have so many to go through. But Anthony does not cut anything out of production when he's on screen. So, thank you, Rich Stanley. I hope you're feeling better and also for casting like 43. We got 85 people watching the show, so we should be at 85 likes. But I'll take 43 right now too. And yeah, and like you said, Jason, he does multiple shows live every month. I mean, Anthony's he's always busy. If he could do 2 shows a week, he would definitely continue to do that. But I can't do that many shows in a week. But great job keeping those railogies. Yeah, thank you, Christopher. But you didn't get a piece of the cake. Oh well. Hey, that's what happens. But I'm glad you're doing better, Rich. And I appreciate the fact that you were tuning in, even though you were on the mend. It is what is for your efforts hurting cats on Monday. Thank you, T. Gleason. Yeah, well, it did, like everybody saw it worked well, and forget. Well, when I was talking with Joshua the other day, right? I really feel like the best things that we do really come from the audience. I mean, Anthony and I didn't come up with the idea for the website offer stuff. That happened when we did the recap show. and I forget who did it first. I don't remember, but somebody in the audience said, it was nearing the end of the show. They came in and said, "Hey, what about this piece on your site?" And because I think Anthony was out of pieces from his recap, and so Anthony was like, "Sure, I'll take an offer from the site." And but again, if it wasn't for one of you coming in and suggesting to do that, we wouldn't have had that idea. Like I said to Joshua, it's like, I didn't name Billigan, somebody in the chat did. I didn't name John McClain. We just did the Die Hard meme, and somebody in the chat called Mike John McClain. So yeah, I just kind of roll with what you guys do, and we take the good ideas and then spit them back to you, because it's what we all want at the end of the day. So it's fun to be able to be the guy that's wrangling all this stuff, but it really is thanks to all of your participation and the suggestions and the things you're saying in the chat that really kind of fuel everything we do over here on the channel. I mean, it really is. It always brings a smile to my face when a new idea pops out of the chat. So let's see what else we got going on. The Miller piece, Marcus says. I'm not sure what was that. What is that about? It is what it is not acceptable. I'm not sure. Well, you Marcus, you can explain that. Was their crotch goblin cake? Philip wants to know. No, but the crotch goblin did make an appearance on Monday. There was I don't know if you saw that, but yes, there was a person in the chat tonight who was wearing the crotch goblin mask during that make offer show, and it was pretty humorous. I think we should be able to work the crotch goblin into a real meme or a part of the show in the future. It's he's got legs, definitely. Let's see. Jeff Moy says, I just tried to upload a piece to the sketchbook. It says it's not active. Well, just like art in your CAF gallery, there is a checkbox for active or inactive. So if you didn't check the active checkbox, it would be off. The Miller piece. That's right, Marcus. You're absolutely right. That's thank you. I couldn't remember which piece it was. You're absolutely correct on that. The Miller piece was the birth of the combined offer on the site. See, and again, it's back to you guys get innovative, and then it just fuels ideas over here. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's just I don't know what to tell you, but again, it makes things easier here for us when we're trying to come up with new material. I know Marcus knows all. I was trying to find, remember way back, I think it was an early episode in the teens, and it was the one where we sold the John Romita Sr. Spider-Man head sketch that it said to Doug, but it looked like it said to Dong, and everybody made a joke out of that. And I mentioned one night, I would like to track down that person because I don't have records. I can't figure out where it was. Marcus was able to track down which show it was from and everything. So I haven't gone out and made an offer on that piece yet, but yes, Marcus does know all. If you have a question about the shows or the site, he usually has a faster answer for those things than I do. But yeah, I was mentioning, one day where I just like getting stuff from the show, right? I mean, that's why we got the Hulk with pearls hanging in the back there. I've gotten a few other art pieces and things, and obviously I get all the props from the memes that we get to have around here. But getting artworks is more fun. So I eventually will make an offer to that person to see if I can get that piece back, because it was one of the more memorable moments, I think, on the Dueling Dealers. Chris Snorks is Uncle. Oh boy. Okay. The active checkbox is actually required in regular galleries. It might default on. I don't recall. I think maybe I did start defaulting it to being checked only because there were so many people who weren't checking it that at the end of the day, they I was getting too many questions. So maybe I should just default it to active when, who has it? I got to go back and look, because it was a couple months ago when it's somebody on CAF, but they didn't put it in their CAF gallery either. So I forget the name, but I could dig back and find it. But again, it's a piece of dueling dealer history. One of the first things that I'm sure made everybody just bust up laughing, and is that, or when Mike had the Hulk mask on and he kept saying harpies, and it sounded like he was saying herpes forever. That episode 9, it wasn't even in the teens. See, that's why I said it was so early. But yeah, I'd love, I would put that on the back wall permanently. So, and it was just a standard pencil, and then looked like permanent marker sketch by John Romita Sr. I think it went for $1,600. I mean, probably what is about the standard going rate for those pieces. So, but hey, so this weekend I went over to see my in-laws and do some work, driving around in the Villages, which is about a half hour from here. And on my way out to see them, we passed a place. Now, this place I've seen before because it's everything's farmland out here, right? So they've got their fencing and whatever, but posted on near their gate, because it's it's a gate that kind of is inset from the road, and then it's but on the wall of that, they actually had a sign that says like comic books, always buying, kind of a thing. So I've been driving past this place for the last 5 or 6 months, and it's kind of on a bend in the road, so I'll never see it going one way versus the other. So I forget about it. I never write down the name. I just thought, this guy, whoever this person is, they live 10 minutes away. I mean, I should consider stopping by sometime and maybe seeing if they have some comic art. You never know, right? I mean, the things you think about when you're thinking, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Florida, and there could be some nice juicy pieces of comic art waiting for me to discover. So we drive past it, and there's balloons, there's flags, and there's and little signs all over the place that said comic book tent sale today only. And so of course I blew past it because it's it's on a bend in the road, and I'm like, Emma, we are going. So I teased her for numerous times throughout the afternoon. I kept saying comic book tent sale. I mean, who would have? I mean, literally, we were in the middle of the forest, right? And to see these signs just made us laugh. Yeah, reading comics until the cows come home. Exactly, Marcus. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. So Emma finally warmed up to the idea that we were going to do this, and I wanted to make sure I got back before it got too dark. So we made sure, and sure enough, we got there like around 3:00. And unfortunately, so I filmed driving in and leaving because you'll get a kick out of it. I didn't take too many photos while I was there, but I went, and they actually have a YouTube page and had recorded video from, I guess, the last time they did a tent sale. So I recorded the video off of their YouTube video and kind of put it in between us driving in and driving out. But the funny thing was that here we are in the middle of nowhere. I go to the checkout, and Emma had found some books, some manga books that she wanted, that she'd been looking for. Ironically, some stuff that she really wanted, and I picked up a few pieces. Some of you will be very happy. I picked up a copy of Planetary trade paperback. It's 4. I mean, they didn't have 1, 2, or 3, so but at least I've got one now. So I picked that up, and then I picked up a copy of Cosmic Odyssey issue 3, and I got a Rogue Trooper. So just something fun, sci-fi-ish, 2000 AD-ish that makes me happy. But let's see here. So I didn't really look at and they did have one piece of art, believe it or not. They had a piece of art by Neil Adams hanging on the wall. But when I was checking out, honest to God, the guy goes, "You look familiar." He's like, do you have a YouTube channel? And I'm like, yeah, I'm into comic art. I do a regular show where we sell comic art, and he's like, that's where I've seen you. You were on that show with those guys. And so here I am in the middle of Florida, in the middle of the forest, at a tent sale, and the guy at the checkout knows who I am, and he's like, "Oh, we got lots of questions for you. We've been trying to do online auctions for forever, and they just don't work well, and trying to do live stream ones." And So I'm like, I gave him, gave my number and just said, sure. I didn't pick up any cow chips. But that's true. I'll highlight that from Dino. Cool news. The California Congressman Robert Garcia was sworn in yesterday with a Superman #1 comic, and he's a comic art fan. Exactly. So at any rate, so it was very funny. And, of course, we're walking back to the car. I'm like, well, what'd you think of that, Emma? Because I'm like, and she's like, that was cool. So, just the idea that somebody out here knows me. But anyway, so let me show this. It's a 2-minute clip. You'll get a kick out of it because, I mean, trust me, I had no idea what we were driving into, and it turned out to be pretty darn cool. Last Saturday afternoon, Emma and I were out for a drive, and what did we discover? A giant 50-cent comic book tent sale. We had to check it out.
It's on your right.
OMG. 50-cent, giant 50-cent comic book tent sale. Today only.
Today only? Dang.
In the back of the sign said, all toys 50% off. This is like
It's Narnia.
Narnia. I was thinking it was more like Friday the 13th or something.
Okay. We got 2 different ideas here.
It's all that Cabinet of Curiosity videos that I've been watching over on Netflix.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones here.
Maybe that's just... Oh, you're right.
Oh my God, it really is a tent. It's a tent.
Oh my God. I don't know what this guy's thinking.
He's just going real slow. I think he must pull forward in order to get around.
Maybe.
But I just plan on pulling. I don't know. What do you think? Should I pull all the way up between those trees?
I mean, back where he was.
Yeah, I guess so. Just don't want to be able to make sure I give everybody else enough room. I'm gonna pull right here. It looks deep enough to be able to pull into it.
Oh, wow.
What?
2 tents.
2 tents? There's 3 tents.
Yeah.
You know this is worth it. This is totally worth it. You guys. But there you go. Their website, the comicbookconnection.com too. So I signed up for their mailing list. Apparently they do these every like 3 months, every quarter. I guess the guy was big into comic selling for a very long time. Has a few health issues. He's older. I didn't get to meet him. He was out buying lunch or something at the time. but so he doesn't go to cons too often anymore. So but he still buys a ton. And yeah, tie-dye shirts and gator jerky, says Mark V. Exactly. But I mean, who would have guessed? Literally, this place is 10 minutes down the road. I'm sure we're going to become very good friends. Maybe I'll give him some ideas. I'll tell him about the gator jerky and whatever, face painting, balloon animals. But isn't that Chuck? No, let me see. I think the guy's name was, let's see, the comicbookconnection.com. I thought it had his name on here. Here's I can actually show you. See, look, see, giant tent sale on his website. This is a site from the 90s, everybody. I didn't design this one. I thought it had his name on here somewhere. But oh, Joe. So his name is Joe. So, but somewhere on here it had his last name too. But anyway, there you have it. Cool thing. I mean, everybody, I bet you're all jealous that you don't have one 10 minutes away from you, because I mean, come on, this is crazy. The only negative thing was that they had they had one tent that had stuff semi-organized by everybody. You saw the names on the front of the long boxes, right? And titles and trade paperbacks and whatnot. So those were easy to figure out. But the two biggest tents were long boxes that were not organized at all. I mean, it was just you had to dig and just keep going through. I mean, so they had like long box sales. You could buy a short box or a long box, and it was like, for $70 you fill a short box, you can take everything you want. $150 with a regular long box, you can fill that up. So you could literally spend 6 hours trying to dig through everything, and we only had, I don't know, 40 minutes, so we didn't have that much time. But yeah, so it was, and they don't accept Bitcoin, Kelly Goon. No. Hey, Joey. Exactly, you guys. But yeah, very, very fun, very interesting experience that we're going to go to again. I mean, I can't wait for the next one. I've already put it into the calendar to start to go back to this guy's website if he doesn't email me to let me know when his next one is. Yeah, I guess it would be in April. So anyway, but are you going to open the bent package? Yes, actually, believe it or not, yes, that is what we were going to be working on next. Kevin Sharp, unorganized long boxes used to be fun. I'm too old for that now. I agree, Kevin. I felt the same way. I only looked through a few of them, maybe like 10, but Emma was diligent. We kind of talked going in that we were going to try to find Power Pack comics and a few other things that her and her brother like, and Gwen likes. And so they had a mission of, she had a focus of what she was going to try to find, but it was terrible. She did find one in the 50-cent boxes, one copy of Power Pack, like issue 18 or something like that. And like I said, I didn't find anything in the 50-cent boxes. That's where I got the Cosmic Odyssey and the Rogue Trooper and the trade paperback for Planetary. I mean, it's a hard cover book. They sold it. They had it marked 25% off, and then did it 50% off of that. So, we got like 20 books for $18, including the trade. So it was definitely worth the stop. And yeah, I mean, that video was fairly accurate for how busy they were when we were there too. Nobody was wearing coats though, because it was 80 degrees. Have a live wheeling and dealing live stream from there. Yes, yes, it really is Weirsdale, not Weirdsdale. You've superimposed the S and the D, but it's Weirsdale, not Weirdsdale. But Emma is the perfect sidekick. Absolutely, no, she is. She's a trooper. So yeah, I'm going to move on to, well, one thing I did want to mention. I talked about doing a year-over-year report, and I just didn't have the time. Spent too much time at that little event in the swamp and Monday's show. So I'll try to put something together for next week. But we've got other things going on next week, so we'll see. But I really do want to do that year-over-year report from a sales perspective and kind of look back for 4 years and just kind of see where we're at from all the dealers and the auction houses that we track. But I was not able to prepare that for today. Now, as many of you know, and if you saw the mailing I sent out, this is probably the biggest mail day I've ever had. There is, I've got a pile here, and I've got that package that I talked about the other day. So I'm gonna save that one for last. But did they have any pogo art? Philip, unfortunately, the only piece of art they had was it was a Neil Adams piece that was, but more of a one of his more recent pieces. Probably done in the last 4 years. It was colored. It was of the Joker, and it was large. It was larger than 11 by 17, probably something like 16 by 24. I didn't bother to see what the price was on it, but I thought about asking because I figured, if this guy's been in the hobby forever, he might have art around that that he doesn't put out here to sell. So I figure next time I go over there, I'll talk with him and see what I can find. Now, first up is a package that was sent to me by, well, not sent to me by Jeff Wedding, but Jeff Wedding put this together. I'm quite certain of it. If you remember, I think it was probably about a year or a little more than a year ago where I got a similar package from Jeff Wedding. And this is something extra special for CAF's anniversary, 20th anniversary. So let me take a look at this. These are awesome. Look at that. Oh, man, I didn't see the back before, Jeff. So as you know, Jeff put together the poker chips that we had. And I've got a few of those around. Oh, here. Jeff did 2 sets of poker chips originally, for those of you who didn't know. I still have some left. There was the Billithor. All right, I hold it up closer, although we'll probably be out of focus a bit. There's that one. And it said Comic Art Fans on the back. And then he actually put together a Dueling Dealers coin, one with Mike on one side and Anthony on the other. And then Jeff offered to put together a set of poker chips for CAF's 20th anniversary, which is what, 3 weeks away? So we're getting close, February 1st. And so here is the new one. And the thing is, I actually love what he did here. I've always thought about, what would I do if I want to redo the Comic Art Fans logo? And so he basically took the way I fashioned the Comic Art Live logo and redid it because it needed to fit on this format. And then the opposite side says 2023 20th anniversary. I love the color green. I think Jeff mentioned the green was emerald is a 20th anniversary type thing. So I have a lot here, and so first people I'll be giving these away to will be those who make it here to that 20th anniversary get together comic art meetup that we've got in February. So these are awesome, Jeff. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. I mean, it's one of the best things that we've done in the last 2 years, well, almost 3 years now, right? With the channel is just coming up with these keepsakes and things that help us remind us how fun the hobby can be. Jeff has been very instrumental in coming up with fun ideas. He mans the CAF group in Vegas, and he does a whole lot. And I can't thank him enough for all the things that he's done for me and just the support he's given me over the last couple of years. And these are great. I'm putting together a few tchotchkes of my own for the 20th anniversary that I'll have for the get together, and then I'll be taking with me to any of the shows that I go to. But these are just awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much. Alfredo, the meetup is it's actually here at my house in Florida. We are going to do it's kind of it's a standard OA meetup where most people will probably be bringing portfolios, and we'll also be celebrating CAF's anniversary. I wanted to start something here in around CAF's anniversary, and so this first one will be here at my place, and then beginning in 2024 we will have a regular con down here in Florida as well that I'm working on as best I can right now. I'm going to be checking out some locations for that, but yeah, so this current meetup, if anybody's interested, we do have I'm hoping for good weather. It should be good weather. But I think we've got about 25 people who've committed to coming out. Some people are coming in from out of town. A lot of people are local. So that's cool, because part of this was, I wanted to be able to meet some of the local collectors and get, now that I moved down here, just get to meet some people and probably try to work out where we can have a lot of these collectors are actually in Tampa, in the Tampa area. And so it sort of makes me think, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. So it might be cool to find a few people who might be willing to help me figure out where in Tampa we could set these up, because that seems to be the hub for collecting and collectors around there, Tampa and Orlando. So, and then Miami. So Miami's like 4 hours away from here. It is, Alfredo, we're doing it on the 11th of February from 11 to 5. So yeah, shoot me an email. I'm happy to give you more details on that. Next up, Maureen actually already opened this. I had some stuff that was still getting delivered to my house in Ohio, and the new homeowners weren't telling me. So I actually have 2 packages that went there, and we were able to pick them up when we were up there visiting my mom for Christmas. So the first one, which I said is already open. This was from, I get these every year, and Mikhail, you're gonna like this one. It's from Metropolis Comic Connect. They send me a bottle of wine every year, and I'm not that unique. They send a lot of these out, but maybe if you guys don't get them, but I do. So there's Vincent, because Vincent is always drawn into these, the labels that they put together for this. But there he is, doing a little trad more bit there with Vincent as Silver Surfer. So thank you very much to Vincent and Micah and Steve over there at Metropolis and Comic Connect. I appreciate it. I got to get them to update their mailing address, or I'll never see another one of these. Oh wow and oh dear. Yes, Mondo poster art. That's right. Isn't that? I swear, because I'm on Mondo's list too. I think that I just saw something with that very same image on it. So also this other piece of artwork. So this is something that I bought. Oh my gosh, in October, and I bought it from Cadence after I did that show with Hawthorne, and here, I'm just thinking, I know that I've heard it sometimes takes a month to get your art. And so I didn't say anything. And so a month or 2 goes by and I'm like, hey, I'm wondering where my art is. And they're like, well, we shipped it. And so they gave me the tracking number. And sure enough, it went to my house in Ohio. And those losers didn't even try to get in touch with me. So the box was actually cut open too. So I bet you they actually opened it and looked at it to see what the heck it was. But so this was a piece of art that after it was on the show and it didn't sell. And I talked with Maureen after the show, and she told me that she's like, I really like this one piece, and she wanted me to buy it. And so I told her, well, gosh, that's funny, because that was like the one piece that I really like too, and I don't want to really tape down to this board, so I'm not going to get it out of the Mylar that it's in. But it was from Superior, like Doc Ock, I think. That's what it was from. If you watch the show, you might remember the piece. But yeah, those first three panels are really, really nice, and they all are really nice, obviously. But just a nice piece. And that show with Mike, I remember we didn't sell one piece live. They sold artwork after the show, believe it or not. So it's kind of weird, and that's why I was like, gosh, that sucks. I mean, this is the one piece I wanted, and it didn't sell. And Maureen said the exact same thing. So we got it. But thankfully, we got it after the fact that it sat at my house in Ohio for almost 2 months before I was able to pick it up. Let's see. I got 2 packages here. This first one came from Mr. Felix Liu, and it feels like a piece of clothing of some sort. So let's see. I already have a Team Felix shirt, so let's see. What do we got? What do we got here now? Oh, God. All right. Well, some of you, maybe you guys already have these too. This is, look at that. That is in gold. Look at that. Home of Wall Power. Felix Comic Art. Woo! Oh, here you go. A little better there. Wall Power. We all know about that. Felix has coined many a phrase in the hobby, including Art Drop. He coined that as well, as far as I know. And Wall Power as well. Well, come on, that's solid gold, baby. Look at that. That is awesome. Thank you, Felix. I know Felix watches these shows. He probably doesn't watch them live, but I know he does watch them after the fact. Now, this next piece, again, it's actually from TeePublic. I knew it was coming. I don't know what it is. Alex Garcia said that he goes, I made this design, and I wanted to send it to you. So he had asked me for my shirt size and whatnot. And he's like, I want you to have one. And so I'm like, all right, cool. I gave him my address, and this thing just arrived. I think it arrived yesterday. So let's see here. What? And we use TeePublic as well. Did people notice that I made that Make Mine MODOK Oh my God. As ironic. It's like I say the word and this is funny. This is so much better than the thing I did. This is really ironic. Really, 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 really ironic, Alex. I'm going to wear this thing with pride. And this is so much better than what I did. All right, Marcus, I know you're going to want one of these. Look at that. That is crazy. Wow. That is good. I love it. I can't wait to wear it. Alex did say, he said, hey, if you want, we can, he'd give me the design and I can put it into our TeePublic store. So if there's people interested, hey, look at that. That is awesome. Then I'll definitely set up, because this is better than the one I did. I won't even show you mine. If you go to the TeePublic store, you'll see the one that I put in there. I used Albert's actual likeness from one of the video clips, and I had it say "Make Mine Moidoc" on it. I forgot to do the next thing, so that is of course classic Albert. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait to walk up to his table. Is there a drink in his hand? No, he's just got his fists out. There should be a drink in his hand though, or what? A bottle of Windex right behind him. That would be the other thing. I've always been meaning to put a bottle of Windex on the back, bookshelf, because just in homage of Albert and the first time I had him on the show. So, Alex, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate that. And yeah, please send me the graphic. I'll put it in the TeePublic store. Just so you guys know, I only make like $1 on a sale with TeePublic. I use them because they're easy and it's cool to get the shirts out there. We don't make any money at it, but it's fun. So that's a keeper right there. And I was honestly thinking of like doing a series of those kinds of shirts, just because, rather than just the old logos and things, let's put some fun things out there. So yes, everybody loves Moidoc. Next box is from Mikhail. So I can show the package. It's always got something creative going on there. So he helped give it a little bit of sturdiness quality here with the extra clear tape. So let's see here. And I'm opening it with a knife given to me by Mikhail. See, look at that. Floor is worn off of this baby. All right, what do we got in here? It's like Christmas, guys, I tell you. I'm getting there. All right. Oh. Let me get wrapped it around the arm of the chair. Okay. So if you were at Heroes, everybody knows about the Mankini cabal. That's Thor, of course, and his Mankini. Everybody had to get their picture with the Mankini art over at Rob's house. I did. And again, all of these things that we've done together is just have made the hobby just so dang awesome these last couple of years. And the Mankini is one of them. I've got a sticker on my portfolio. So what do we got under this? It's like it's vacuum packed. I can tell it's a Samney sketch. I don't want to there is no open here, but let's see. Got a knife. I can do anything. You can hear the air escape from it. This is vacuum sealed artwork. There we go. Oh, perfect. This is Chris Samney Thor sketch. It's like on a 3x6 board. That is awesome. See, I told you guys I was leaving space in that top row up there to put small art. This is going to go up on there as well. Thank you so much. It's fresh, says Marcus. It is. I've never seen. Clearly this came from him. I mean, literally, if you look at this thing, there was no pull here or anything. This thing was vacuum sealed. Air escaped from wherever Chris is from when I opened that. This is well, I'm not going to guess. We'll see what's inside. It is wrapped. Okay, well, it may be buffalo and blue cheese chicken tortilla bites, but I kind of have my doubts. That's what the box says on it. Oh, man. This is a clearly a grab bag of things that we've just been talking all about. We've got what would Bill Cox do buttons, and some of the Mankini stickers, and yes, a lot of the what would Bill Cox do buttons. So, and some poker chips. And what is this other thing in there? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Mikhail, you shouldn't have. Look at this. New Bellator knives. These things are the best. I'm telling you, look at that. They're sharp. They're handy. I love them. I've got 2 new ones. I can replace that one because honestly, it's like a butter knife now, Mikhail, after the 2 years since I had it. I mean, literally, look at that. That's what the current one looks like. So, oh my, thank you so much, Mikhail. And, I love the art. It will get framed. I don't have any small frames, so I'm going to have to actually go out and pick some up. But that is going on the wall. Oh man, so I don't know where I should. I'm running out of space here. I'll put this over here. All right, now next, I'm pretty sure I know what this one was. I'm not even going to use that old knife anymore. Let's go right to the new one. I ordered a couple books. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I got for Emma. And then I'll explain why I got it for Emma. Let's see here. Yep, that is the one. So, we had Bob McLeod on about a month ago. Remember, he was late to that one interview, and then he showed up. He and I hung out and talked for about a half hour after the show because he had mentioned during the show that he did art lessons, right? So I thought, I love Bob. I haven't commissioned any artwork from him in a long time at cons or whatnot. And I was like, Maureen and Emma have been telling me I need to find somebody to give her some art lessons. And so we did manage to get an art lesson in right before Christmas, over a Zoom call. And the one thing he told her, he was like, I want you to, go out and get a copy of How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. So, I went onto Amazon, and man, this thing is like, it's seen better days, but it's still intact. So awesome. I'm going to be giving this to Emma so she can use this as reference. But it was cool. Bob, he had her send some of her work to him, and he went through and gave her an hour class, and it was super affordable. And again, he's somebody who I speak super highly of the man. I love him to death, and I love his art, and I hope to have him back on the show sometime later this year. But yeah, so this is a book going to Emma. All right, we're almost to that artwork that I'm going to be working on. But this, I know what this is. This came from Anthony, but this will be something that'll sit on the back bookshelf until maybe I don't want to keep smelling cake in my office. So let's see here. My office has smelled like cake for the last week because I think this came in on Friday. So let's see what we got here. I think you told me I had to put it back together. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm going to bubble wrap for ages. I won't go through all this, but at least get so you know what it is. I'll get the main thing out. This was from the 100th episode. It was the C4 from the Die Hard episode right there. It's like a big block of cake. There you go. C4, plastic C4. It's got there's detonators in here, of course, and And then there's that the shards of glass with blood on them that I think are edible. I'm not going to try one tonight though, but they are in here. So I'll find a place on the back bookshelf for these. Thank you, Anthony. But yeah, it smells like cake. It's gonna smell like a bakery in here, I think. For a while. Oh. All right, now we get to the big stuff here. Two pieces remain. Now, one was I was talking with Nick. Gosh, it was about a month ago, and I forget what it was. It was probably after one of the shows that we did. And I told him, I've been looking at this piece of artwork for a very long time on a site. It's like 3 or 4 years, and I never buy it. And he's, I told him about it. The significance of the artwork was from a book that I loved as a kid, and I don't even know what happened to the book. So but Nick convinced me to buy it, and it wasn't. It's like a $350 piece of art. It was bought on Wow Art. Every Christmas they do a sale, and then they do it. It's like 15-20% off everything. So this artwork was usually like $4.25, and then so it's down to $350, and it needed to be shipped from the UK. And so everybody saw it. It's actually on the table behind me because we're gonna open it on a table. But the thing was that the artwork came from this book that I probably got when it came out. It was this book called Galactic Aliens. All right, so just a lot of cool art in it, written by a guy named Alan Frank, who had done several of these kind of fictional alien books. I mean, some of you may have had one of these yourself, but just awesome illustrations in it, just crazy stuff, and but all really, really cool British artists, and just for the time, just like crazy gelatinous whatevers and weird looking space, vampire things, and you name it, just crazy stuff, right? But they all had like the location it was from and the mode of attack. It was like like a TSR module of some kind, right? So it was just cool. And then you get all this great artwork in it, right? And one of the artists in this book is an artist named Terry Oakes, and he's amazing. I mean, he's painted everything from paperback covers to magazine covers. He's had a huge amazing career. I've always loved his work. I've always checked out his stuff on the Wow Art site. See, even humans were in this thing. But over on their site, they had one piece of art from this book, and I kept looking at it for 3 or 4 years because I read this thing till it probably fell apart, and it was one of those, this along with like the Frazetta books and Bern Hogarth's dynamic figure drawing. If I could own artwork from any of those books, I'd be thrilled. So when I saw this piece, I just thought it was an interesting piece of art to own, and I kept passing it up. Why? I don't know. And I was hoping I'd actually see it when I was flipping through here, because I should, because it's part of the tail. Well, here you go. This was the piece. So here is the piece of art that I bought. It was this crazy Trees of Terror, right? And it's like whenever any like critters or aliens or whatever would walk underneath the tree, it would drop the leaves would choke those things, and then they would just decompose and the trees would eat them, right? Now, the interesting thing about this is that when they did the artwork for this book, this is still, this is the 70s, late 70s, they had the artists, do the artwork. So there's this particular piece, right here. And then the trees are separate pieces of art too. But what they did was they actually put it all on one big mat board, laid out identical to what you see here. All right. So there's actually 4 pieces of art. Well, I don't know. This may be just some kind of a print. I don't know. But I know that this gray tone is on the board. Right. So it was always kind of this weird thing. And that was the other thing why I didn't buy it. I was like, oh, it's just kind of weird. And on top of everything else, it had this little bit of water damage on the mat board that it was glued to. Like right here. It didn't go into the art because the mat board came all the way around it. So again, I just looked at this thing all the time, and I'm like, God, it'd be so cool to own a piece of art from that book. But I was like, I know it ships from overseas and everything. But anyway, so I finally bought it. Nick convinced me to buy it, and let me back up here. I'll show it to you. So get this chair out of the way So we've never done one of these. This is kind of different for me. Get the chair over here. And I'm going to use my good knife on this now, not the one I plan to use. Here, I want to get this over here too so you can hear me. So the art arrived on Tuesday, and you can see it fine from there. When it got here, I was in my office and Maureen called me up to the front of the house. She's like, we got a package here. I don't know if we should take it or not, and so I came out, and sure enough, it was pretty banged up. It had, so it's cardboard. You can tell there's a couple layers of cardboard. It's an inch thick. So it was, as far as I'm concerned, it was packed properly. It's not, it's not masonite, but there's definitely 2 layers of cardboard in here on both sides. And it's still, you can see it's easier when I kind of hold it like this. You can see there's a bend from here all the way across. And so the thing is, by the layout you just saw, 50% of the art, for the, this whole piece, if the art's here, the main piece of art isn't damaged. But if it's over here, that art is going to be bent in the middle. So I figured, all right, I had the option of sending it back or taking it. And I just thought, I'm not going to send it back. I waited 4 years to buy the artwork, so I'm not going to send it back. And because it had that water damage on it originally, I thought, I'm probably going to do something restorative to it. And I can't see the chat, everybody, just so you know. But, so I decided I'm going to keep it. I held on to it for a day, and then I decided, all right, I'm not going to send it back. Because they told me as long as I didn't open it, I could actually give it back to the post carrier. And they would still send it back because it did have an insurance note on it. And but you can see they definitely, whoever handled this really mishandled it. There's a dent right here that goes straight down to the mat board. So, I hope hopefully that's not a hole, but we won't know until we open it. So we're going to go ahead and see what we got. But again, it's labeled artwork. Please don't bend. But, with bigger artwork, you always run into that fear that if this was an 11 by 17 piece, somebody could set something on it and nothing bad's going to happen. But, when it's oversized like this, you just can't tell what's going to happen in shipment, right? So, yep. He's put reinforcing boards on it. Not, but heavy cardboard. This... So where did it bend? It bent right at the end of one of his reinforcement pieces. So, but what are you going to do? This piece looks like, actually this is actually masonite. He put like a masonite cross on this thing, but if I look at that, it snapped the masonite cross. So he put pretty much, like I say, across there, and this piece was actually a part of that, and that's where the bend is. So it snapped. This is the thinner masonite. This is like you can get it in what is it, a 16th and 3/6. I can't even remember. There's 2 different sizes of masonite. This is definitely the thinner version of them. But that is it bent on that one weak point. So let's see here. But I called around. I talked to Mike and a few other people I knew that have had restoration work done in the last year or two. And I said, I showed them pictures of the box, and everybody that I talked to said, more than likely you're going to be able to, fix it. The only fear being is this is a painting. And if it's acrylic, which I don't really know what the mediums are on it, you could have some damage to that. This won't, it really can't fix. So yeah, look, this is this is a pretty substantial piece of cardboard here. So it's the moment of truth to see where the bend is. Because it is on the back. I'm not looking at it. Let's see. Well, I guess I'm in luck because it bent right where I was hoping. It bent right on the almost perfectly on the edge where the art was because of the shape. And I've got this really nice letter here too, which I'll read in a moment from Terry. But yeah, let me go ahead and turn it around. So bend is right here. So it's about a half an inch into the main piece of artwork. So what do we got here? Okay, so the overlay had that. That's where they did the graphic thing. You guys are seeing this before me. So I'm just trying to look and see about with the fold and everything. I mean, no. I mean, it actually, there's no paint that's chipped off the edge here at all. You can see, well, I don't know how well you can see it, but like I mentioned, I knew that there was, on the mat board that it was adhered to, there's this little bit of water damage right here. But yeah, it's not, and you know, I thought this was like, the paint is actually on the mat board. I always assumed that they must have, you know, painted on something else, cut it out and put it on the mat board. But the art, except for this piece that is definitely a print, the art is on the mat board itself, which is pretty cool. So, well, so I guess I can be pretty happy then. I'm not, you know, I was nervous. I was very nervous. You know, I'd emailed Jane, who runs Wow Art, and, you know, let her know that, what, you know, the things arrived as they did. And she was like, we're going to make it right if there's any damage to it. But, you know, end of day, looking at this, I don't have, I'm happier than hell. I mean, this is perfect. It's, yeah, no, that's great. So, but yeah, you know, you can see a little bit of striation in the mat board there. So I don't know if that'll, you know, if when it gets pressed, if that'll get worked out or not. But either way, you know, if they can work out the little warp that's here from the water damage that I knew I was getting, you know, I put this under glass, you'll never notice it. So sweet. Whew. Well, I'll tell you, I was a little nervous, but I'm not nervous anymore. So thank you, Terry Oakes, for this piece, and Jane Frank, who runs Wow Art. We have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. Put that back. So that's awesome. I'm happy. Right, Nick. I sent Nick a picture of the packaging saying, "Uh-oh, look what arrived," and I didn't hear back from him, so I knew he was probably sweating too because he talked me into buying it. But yes, everyone needs more friends like Nick. So, all right, I'll get my microphone back here. But yeah, thank you, Dino. You know, again, it's stuff like that you know, it just makes you happy to own something from your childhood, right? I mean, and I always say I don't really have any grails, but you know, but I remember this book from forever. I mean, I loved it. I traced it. You know, I wanted to draw like these guys, and I think, you know, to this day, that's why I like the IX art show and the things that I do just from books like this. And now I own a cool piece of art from it too. So I won't read Terry's letter, but obviously he wrote me quite a bit. And at the end, best wishes from Terry. So thank you, Terry, and thank you, Jane. Yeah, I'll read it later. Whew. All right. Well, where am I going to go from here? So sorry that took so long, but we had so many things to get through. How about, you know, just to give me a break here, I came up with, you know, that we did that meme the other last night with the special delivery, and you know, Anthony was teasing me, you know, like how many takes did it take to get the throw of the thing right, and there, yeah, you got that right, Stephen. Nothing better than nostalgia. Yep, absolutely, and it's exactly. I'm completely with you, Comic Art Boston. I mean that's such a great feeling to pick up something. I mean, that's the stuff, because everybody knows my dream would be to own something from TSR by Bill Willingham. You know, it's like I'd put that book right beside the TSR stuff that I grew up and loved, and you know, you'll never own anything like that from TSR. So getting something from here is fantastic. So, but back to the meme. So, Anthony made that crack about how many times it take, and I thought, it'd be funny. I'll just put it together for you so you can see what what we did to try to do that meme last night. So I did this little video just called the making of a meme for special delivery. It's not very long, but you'll see what we do while we're trying to put together an episode of Dueling Dealers.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I don't want to hurt you.
You're not gonna hurt me.
He has glasses
Anyway.
on. It's not gonna hit him in the eye.
Alright.
So am I like in the center? I got a car coming. Oh, cool, Thor. Mike said he just sent the artwork. I should have it any minute. This can't be my artwork. It's too small. Thor, send it back. Oh, cool. Mike just said he sent the art. I can't wait to get it. Oh, we're awesome. Let's stop. Oh, cool, Thor. Mike just said he sent the art. We should have it any second. Oh, cool, Thor. Mike just...
I can't hear you.
Oh, cool, Thor. Mike said he just sent my artwork. I can't wait to get it.
It was.
Oh, cool, Thor. Mike says he just sent the artwork. We should have it any second. Oh.
I'm sorry.
This isn't my art. It's not the right size at all. Send it back to him, Thor. Okay.
Yep.
Hulk, I need to get this artwork to Bill Cox really fast.
Hulk got this. Hulk sent airmail.
Oh, cool, Thor. Mike says he just sent the artwork. We should have it any second. Oh. This isn't my art. It's not the right size at all. Send it back to him, Thor.
It will be my pleasure, Finnegan.
Oh boy, yep. You can throw all the boxes you want at me. February 11th. But yeah, that was good. And I thought about showing the green screen of doing Thor or whatever, but it was just the throwing of the box stuff was enough. I do my own stunt work. And I saw somebody ask, do the neighbors sit out and watch me? That is my greatest fear. Because I've done those bits in the Thor costume out in the backyard, and yes, I've seen people drive by. I don't know if they can see me. We're set back a little bit from the road, but yeah, my neighbor is pretty close, right behind me. So, yes, somebody is definitely gonna see me and wonder who the hell moved in next to them. But I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's we're just having fun. If it sparks conversation with my neighbors, it's a good thing. So next up, I've got a dramatic reading for you. Adam Law has submitted his latest masterpiece of essentially this is a 7-page story. Not very long though, just 7 minutes, but it is awesome. It's like watching outtakes of the Cannonball Run. Yep. Yeah. Well, you guys would get a kick out of a lot of the stuff that we have that ends up on the cutting room floor. I think we probably do more fun things that you don't get to see than what you do get to see. But so back to that. So Adam Law has obviously he has set the bar for the dramatic readings. He's done some of the most amazing ones out there. I actually have a piece of art coming in that I picked up specifically because I want to do a dramatic reading for it. I've only got one line in it, but I had to have it because you'll see. So hopefully in a couple weeks I'll have my first dramatic reading. But Adam put this one together. It is it's awesome, and I'll let him explain it for you before he does the reading because I've got the video right here for you.
Today I'm going to share this 7-page short story, originally published in Mystery in Space 114 in 1980, penciled and inked by Thomas Yates. I think this is a great story. I think it's really well illustrated. I think it's well written. I think the concept is interesting, and it goes over the epitome of what a lot of people say they would do if they could go back in time, which is travel back and kill Hitler, and how it all goes awry. And in order to demonstrate that, I'm going to do a dramatic reading of these 7 pages. Thank you. We must try to imagine the scene, Mikol. Through Lohmann's eyes, the high-powered concussion rifle, the viewfinder with its digital readouts for distance, wind, velocity, and impact radius, and of course the target, gesturing eloquently as he exhorted the teeming crowd. Naturally, we can never really know how it actually happened. We only know that Lohmann succeeded. He traveled back through time over 100 years and assassinated Adolf Hitler at the Nuremberg rally in 1938, and thereby doomed us all to a lifetime of misery. Imagine the consternation and horror as the party chief saw the Führer lying beneath, sprawled, with his body blackened and lifeless, struck down in the eve of his greatest triumph. And Lohmann, we can almost see his exhilaration, his joy. For hasn't he just slain history's greatest murderer before the beginning of the Second World War, thereby saving the millions of countless lives? But only now would Lohmann realize his terrible error as the shocked crowds were seeking the master's killer and seeing Lohmann exposed and startled. Lohmann, who is above all things a peaceful man, who was driven to this act of assassination only by his grief for those dead millions. Lohmann, completely unable to use his laser rifle to defend himself, and who thus paid the ultimate price for his ideas. But Lohmann would not be the only one to pay for his naive idealism. No, there were others whose lives would be collected in payment for Lohmann's folly. And thanks to Lohmann's gift, history would be changed, indeed. But in our new world, instead of being praised as the savior of millions, Lohmann is cursed as the supreme betrayer of mankind, the architect of 100 years of Nazi rule. Can you see it, McCullough? Can you imagine it? Dear God, Professor, if what you've told me is true, then the world we know was created by one man and can be changed as easily by another. We could crush the Reich before it even began. But how do you know all this? What proof do you have? I know it is true because Lohmann was my friend. In another timeline, another reality, a reality where the Nazis were defeated in 1945. As for the proof, look over there. This sphere, what is it? Lohmann knew that if he succeeded in altering the past, our present would also change, and perhaps he would no longer exist. So he built this stasis sphere, a sphere that could exist outside time and thus would survive any changes in our present due to Loman's activities in the past. Apparently, this is what occurred. Our world was altered by Hitler's assassination, but the sphere remained unchanged. Inside it is a complete record in pictures and diagrams of Loman's plans for traveling back in time and his purpose, and in addition, blueprints for his toy machine. My God! The blueprints, Professor! Can you read them? Can you build the machine? You young fool! Why do you think I asked you here, endangering us both with the SS? I've already built the machine. You see it before you. But now, I want you to use it to travel back to the past and kill Loman before he kills Adolf Hitler. Do you think it's possible to change history again? Not only possible, I believe it's happened before. Not once, but an infinity of times. Not that it matters. Each of us perceives our world as only possible reality. But with time travel, an infinity of worlds becomes not only possible, but probable. Loman went back in time to one world. Now you go back in another reality for another motive. Perhaps someone else will go back from another reality and on and on. But it doesn't matter. What matters is we must try to change this past if we can. The alternative... Never mind, Professor. I understand. Do you? I imagine Loman thought that he understood too. And I wonder what horrors you may unleash upon another unsuspecting world. Yes, Otto, try to picture him if you can. A fool who thinks he can remake the future by changing the past. Imagine him standing behind the stage overlooking the rally, so full of his hopes and dreams. Kneeling and taking aim with one laser burst, crushing the dream of the 1,000-year Reich. In his world, he succeeded. But we can change it, Otto. We can have our 1,000-year Reich. You know what you must do, Otto. You know what you must do, Evan. You know what you must do, Sergeant. You know what you must do. You know what you must do.
You know what you must do.
Oh, thank you, Adam. That's another masterpiece. I sincerely appreciate getting that here and getting to show it with everybody. So, yeah. Hey, we welcome weekly flips. We welcome the calf cribs. We welcome dramatic readings. Whatever anybody would like to put together, we're happy to show it. And look, I've got it. I'm wearing it, Alex. Everybody's jealous right now. They wish they had this shirt. I love this thing, man. This is great. So yes, thank you, Adam. And speaking of Adam, I'm going to show you the schedule right now because Adam is going to be somebody I'll have on the show. Let me see. When do we got that? Adam is on the 28th of February. So a little bit of ways, but I will have him on the show. This is the upcoming schedule, all kinds of crazy stuff. I talked about doing less, and it seems like I'm going to be doing more. Next Monday, I've got the Ellery Santos art sale show with Jiggy. Then on Tuesday, I'll have Will Spertasio on, which obviously is going to be a lot of fun. A very interesting show to have Will's on. I mean, I've never spoken with him before, but Jiggy set that up for me. So it's going to be interesting. I hope everybody tunes into that. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about what he's working on currently, but who knows where the conversation will go. No art sales, of course, during that. We're just hanging out and talking with Wills. Then the Thursday CAF update, we'll start with a heritage recap since I wasn't able to kind of fit that in anywhere. So we'll be doing the heritage recap for the first hour of next week's CAF update. Then the following Monday, I've got a show with Nick Barucci doing a fundraiser for Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. There'll be art and comics and a few other things for sale. It'll be a lot of fun, and I hope you can tune in for that and support Fat Jack's. Then I'll have Philip Anderson on Tuesday. Then special after that will be on Monday the 30th. We'll have the amateur dueling dealer tag team match between the Legion of Dr. Doom with James S. and our own Jason D'Ambrosio versus the Art Throbs, Mikhail and Fish Benz. Who knows who can win that no holds barred tag team matchup, but there's going to be great art. It will be a very interesting show. Then we'll have Kazra on the 31st. The following Monday show after that will be the first sketchbook show that James Siegel will be hosting with, I believe, 3 other collectors talking about the artwork submitted to the current sketchbook. Then we've got the wonderful best of presentation on the 7th. On Tuesday the 7th, that's a full awards ceremony. If you saw last year's show, it's going to be more of the same, but hopefully a little bit better. We'll try to push up the level of presentation for that show, but it should be good. It's going to be fun. I will be joined, I believe, by Mikhail, and I have a feeling Brian Peck will be there to help me kind of kick things off as well. So looking forward to that. We always kind of celebrate CAF's anniversary when we do the best of presentation too. So that's a night to celebrate the hobby, CAF, and everything around it. And then, as I mentioned, I've got that Florida meetup on the 11th of February, Saturday, from 11 to 5. Then this one we just ironed out last week or earlier this week. We've got a Pro-Am match between Anthony and Matt Kennedy. Matt's he's got a lot of good art that he's bringing, and I can't wait to do it. I mean, we had a great time with Matt when we had the martial arts themed show that we did between he and Jordan. Almost, gosh, it feels like it's almost been a year ago. I think it was just last winter or maybe early spring. But we're going to be doing a James Bond theme for this one, and it's going to be awesome. Probably not heavy on memes, but it's going to be a great live show. I guarantee it. Then I've got artist Tony Fleeks on the 20th. That's an interview-only show. 3 sales shows after that. I've got a Mannix show on the 21st, Christian Gossett on the 25th, and then similar to Anthony's make offer show, Mike Berkey is going to be doing a make offer show on the 27th. Then I mentioned Adam Law, of course, on the 28th. I've got Howard Chaykin on the 18th of March, then Dan Brereton on the 25th, and then Mr. Mike Oming again on the 8th of April, and then Randy House. Everybody knows Randy. He's part of the Wicked Comic-Con crew, and so he and I have been talking about doing an interview for a while, and so we decided to time it about a month out, or maybe it's even less than a month out of the Wicked Comic-Con show. So he'll be on with me, and we'll be talking about Randy's gets around. He's seen a lot of things. He's collected a lot of cool artwork, and I'm looking forward to chatting one-on-one with Randy. Any collector conversation shows? Stanley asks. Well, if we did, we'd be doing them on Sundays. I just don't. I can't schedule everything. I have a hard enough time scheduling my things. When we did the collector conversation shows before, James handled all that. He got all the collectors together, and I mean, obviously I hosted most of them, but he organized them. If if I had somebody who would help organize them again, I'd be happy to do them. But like I've said, we definitely have a Sunday show in the works. So but we could do a collector conversation on a Monday or sometimes on a Sunday until we get this other thing that we needed to work on, which is still probably a few months out. But I love the collector conversation. The more people we can get on the show, the better. It's a lot of fun when we did those conversations. I think there's still probably some of the most best watched shows that we've done that of their kind. So I would love to do more collector conversations. Just it's all back to wrangling them. No collector interviews. No, I mean there was a bunch on there, like all the ones in black. If you look on there, Will Spertasio, I had to do that on a Tuesday because he could only do a show on a Tuesday. But Philip Anderson, collector, dealer, Kazra collector, publisher, man of many talents. Then let's see. Do I have anybody on the 13th yet? I don't think I do. Let me see. Check the calendar. I don't think I skipped over anybody. The 13th. Oh no, the 13th is the Pro-Am. The 14th is Valentine's Day, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't do a collector interview on Valentine's Day, right? You guys, if you have a significant other, you should probably be going out and doing something fun. So I was, I don't celebrate them, because Maureen doesn't like to do those kinds of things. But I figure that's a night I'll probably take off on the 14th. But then, then I have Tony Fleeks as a, an artist interview that week after that, and then Adam Law. So no, I've got them lined up. And trust me, I'm talking to a lot of people. It's just trying to nail people down for when they can, fit into the schedule. I was talking or emailing with 3 different people today, trying to figure out, and just, telling them, hey, most of March is open. April's wide open. Jane Frank, the woman from Wow Art that I bought that art from, she's been a art collector for a very long time, an art rep for a very long time. And, I was trying to convince her to do a show with me. I'd love to talk with her about her art collection and also her time doing what she's been doing for the last 20 plus years. So, it's all low hanging fruit. Anybody that approaches me that says, they want to do an interview, I take them. And then it's just, if I'm emailing with somebody, I'll ask them, and a lot of times, half the time people don't even reply. They don't want to do an interview. So they don't turn me down. They just don't get back to me. So that's usually how those things fly. Alex Garcia, hey, appreciate it. Yes, exactly. Coming to a calf store near you. Absolutely, man. One last time. Look at that. That would be him doing his mic moment right there, screaming into the mic. Losing my voice here a little bit, but what do we got next? We're almost ready for the calf update. Actually, I had one other thing just to share. I really don't hate anything that goes on the CGC boards. I just always, it's just not my place to hang out. But somebody said, oh, you got to check out this thing on the CGC boards. It's funny because they have a thread about did you watch the Dueling Dealers last night, and it, so I went and I read through it, and it was funny, but the last image just, it made me laugh. It makes me think that the CGC boards has a chance. I mean, they have a sense of humor. I think they get where we're coming from. So I'll just show you this graphic. The quote, what they posted this image, it said, Anthony, Berkey, and Bill have always been entertaining. And I don't know how the guy could say that the guy on the left looks like Anthony. I mean, the guy in the middle, like Berkey, yeah, but I mean, Anthony's got to be the guy on the right? I mean, he's the one who's losing his hair. I don't look like that guy on the right. I mean, I don't think I look like Captain Kangaroo on the left either. But it should have been Bill. Berkey and Anthony have always been entertaining. So, but yeah, I mean, this is good. Now playing Hot Spice, they'll make your temperature rise with flavoring of the enchanting 40s and wild 50s and crazy stuff. Come out for a great time. So anyways, those guys on the CGC boards, they got a sense of humor, and I think they get us. They talk, because I forget, it was after the 100th episode, they said something about like, I had to tune in to watch Mike wearing a wife beater and Anthony kissing his wife dressed as a man, and Bill doing blah 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 blah. So they want to not like it, but they're tuning in. That's the thing. So they get it. And I appreciate that. So yes, like Nick Ferrucci just said, hit that thumbs up for Hot Spice. Exactly. Are those jackets made from drapes? They sure look like it, didn't they, David? Number one Marvel fan. That's just it. Yeah, there's positive stuff there. There is actually good stuff, but and NSN Art says you need to Photoshop that ad. I actually wanted to do it, but I didn't have time. But I think we might be able to work something out for a future meme, and a future Hot Spice meme. Yes, Peter, something is brewing when something like that comes out there, just to appease them. That'll give it. Like I say, it's always the things that we those external things that we see and hear that drive us to do fun things on that show and then on the channel in general. So I love seeing stuff like that. I mean, other than the fact that I wasn't the guy on the right, I'm the guy on the left. Anthony is the guy on the right. So hot claims. Yeah, there you go. Sharon can make a hot spice cake. That is very, very true. But so that's what I got for today, other than the calf updates. We're going to run into that. And right, I don't have any other videos. It seems like I've played a lot. No, you know what I have? I still got the EXP video to show. And since we're running, we're not running too late, but I'm going to go quick here. So I'm going to show the EXP video first. As you know, Nick has a show every Friday, 7:00. So this thing is like catching my hair all day today. I think I need a haircut. EXP the original art experience every Friday, 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8. It's an easy hour. It's Friday night. And there's always art for sale. It's a fun conversation. It's a good hangout, a lot like we do here. And Nick is a great host. So let me show you the video tease for tomorrow. And it will include all of the artwork, I believe, that he's bringing to that show.
Everybody, this Friday, the 13th, which for some reason people think is an unlucky number, but in Italy, it is a very lucky number. So Friday the 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the Original Art Experience. We're going to have art. We are going to talk art. We are going to talk comics. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about how much of a well-rounded person I am. It's going to be a blast. It always is. And we'll have some art available if you'd like to claim anything. So let's talk about it. We have Jennifer Blood cover by Jamie Biggs in homage to Todd McFarlane Wizard #1. Then we have Iron Man number 33 by Sean Chen. Then we have Nova number 8 by Sean Chen. Notice how much I like Sean Chen. Then we have JLA 105 by Ron Garney. We will also have The Last Defenders by Jim Muniz and Cam Smith. We also have Captain America 41 by our good friend Steve Epting, and this is only going to be available once, and if it doesn't sell, it's staying in my collection. Then we're going to have commission cover art, Thor vs. Hulk Classic by Joe Del Beato, Mariano Nicieza. We're also going to have Bucky with his Captain America. We're going to have Moon Knight commission cover art, this great Star Wars jam piece. You've got Boba Fett, Han Solo, Jabba the Hutt, all 3 Musketeers. And then, very gracious of Jimmy Chung, he donated this Spider-Man commission in homage to Steve Ditko to help raise money for Fat Jacks. We will have an opening price, and then the best offer will get it. And for those who missed it, we will have JLA Avengers trade paperback, the Hero Initiative version that Marvel and DC co-published when George Perez announced he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. This is from Carol Flynn and George Perez's personal file copies. Will come with a certificate of authenticity. We've already paid Carol for this, so if it gets claimed, it'll be exactly what we paid Carol. So, Friday, January 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Original Art Experience. See you there, or be square. I've never said that, so hit that thumbs up and share. Sharing is caring. Thanks, everybody. See you Friday at 7.
There's a first for everything, Nick. And I did forget to talk about my 10 heritage picks. I'll go through those really quickly, and because they're all pretty good. First up, Brett Anderson, and this is from Uncanny X-Men Annual 5. Love that book, always did, and it's a nice Nightcrawler action page too. So it's you got Bob McLeod inks on this, a bonus as far as I'm concerned. There were actually a couple pieces of that I think I picked with Bob's inks on them. Yeah, right here. Next up is this Dale Keown Incredible Hulk 369 page, inked by Bob McLeod. Look at that. That is every panel in this thing is good. No skinny Hulk there. And if anybody remembers Saber, it was always funny. But a good read. This is a complete 21-page story from Saber. Billy Graham art. I mean, look at that fro, man. He is amazing in this. But you get the whole 21 pages in this one. I just thought that was cool. It's the opportunity to own a complete issue of a very, I don't even remember who was published of this. Eclipse, I think, right? So there you go. That's page 1. And what is it? An Exploitation of Everything Dear, Part 5, Birth. It's got to be a very interesting story. I did not read through this to see how it ends up. Then this is a nice page. I think probably would interest a few of the DC fans out there. It is an Alex Toth Brave and the Bold page. You got the Flash and the Atom on this one, signed by Toth right there. Awesome page. I always thought these ones were cool, where you knew there was an ad or something that went along with the page. So this is a nice one. It's definitely a nice Toth piece. Love this one a lot. I wouldn't mind picking it up. And we got a House of Secrets complete 5-page story from 73. So 20 years old now. I'm a sucker for title pages. I like this one a lot. Yeah, so that's cool. So there you go. So a 5-page complete story. You don't have to buy 21 pages. You can get just a 5-page story in a book like that. Then Gulacy art, always hot. This is from Master of Kung Fu. This one, if you look at this thing in its entirety, I just love the layout of this thing from top to bottom. I mean, this page just flows with all those broken boards like that. And I love the center 4 panels, the way it's breaking things up, but it could have been one panel, but it's not. I mean, I just think the creativity in that page makes this one really unique. And even here at the end, when he breaks out of the pile of rubble and starts kicking some butt, and that's awesome. I mean, I like this page. I think I'm gonna put a bid on this one too. But Gulacy's work is always impeccable, and yeah, I really like this one. Darn it. I keep talking about getting something with Gene Day, Master of Kung Fu, but maybe I'll end up owning a Gulacy first. Then we always talk about Russ Heath, or I always talk about Russ Heath. So here's a great Russ Heath. It's a Navy-ish kind of thing, but it's Russ Heath, and it probably will be affordable. So that one's from GI Combat. Then, I always love Perez stuff, anything Teen Titans. But, again, it's panel layout here is the thing that I like a lot about this page. But I really loved this the way he did this with Raven, with the cloak coming down and essentially laying out this panel here. So, when I saw this as a thumbnail and I knew, essentially the trick, the way he was using that outline for that figure to kind of create the shape for the lower panel, that's it. I'm a sucker for that. That. So there it is. And 2 more. I always love the Dodsons. Almost, anything they do. I've never owned any work by either of them, but they're just a great team, Terry and Rachel. And this is a Wonder Woman page, just nicely done. Again, it's all about the panel layout. I just love the way that they've broken things up here. Inset, this small narrow panel here. I mean, it's just everything about it is gorgeous. Inking's always gorgeous on this stuff. And then you don't see too much what Peter Bagg art, and this is from Hate 26. Never read that one, but I have read a few of those books. But again, you don't see too much of this art on here. We had Scott Eder on recently, and so I've been kind of paying attention a little bit more to underground artists, and so cool to see this on Heritage. I'm not sure, I don't know the market for any of this stuff, but again, if you're into underground art, this is a nice piece that you might like to add to your collection. So there you go. That's my 10. Everyone's raving about that panel. Yes, exactly. Anyway, thank you, Brett. Yes, see, it all comes from the chat. So, oh man, all right, well, let's get this calf update underway. We're an hour and 45 into the show right now, and yeah, and trust me, there was a lot of other good stuff too in the auction. I just kind of went through and just picked some of my favorites this afternoon. All right, I'm going to stop a couple screens here before I switch over to this. So this is from the first full week in January, of course, from what do we got? The 2nd through the 8th, I believe. Yeah, 2nd through the 8th. Starting off with the original art dealers. Average week, $326,000 in sales from them, from the dealers that we track. Of course, I only track the dealers whose sites we built and host and that I can verify sales from. So 326,000 this time from this period, and the prior week, of course, was 701. That was buoyed, of course, by Mike's he had those 4 pieces totaling 600,000. So it would have been a very slow week for the last week of 2022 without that, but 326 is pretty average. Top 6 sales from OA dealers in that period was, let's see, what do we got? First up is this John Romita Jr. page sold by Glenn from Panel Page Art. $20,000 was the asking price on this one. And next up, what do we got here? We've got a Neil Adams, Tom Palmer, Avengers 96 page. I mean, I'd kill for that. This was sold by Berkey Asking price on this one was $13,000. Then let's see, another Bermuda Man sale. This one is by Michael Golden from Call the Conqueror, issue 7. It's the cover, and it's a twice up piece. Sold for $12,500. Then a Travis Charest piece right here, sold by Berkey as well. Asking price was $10,000 on this one. It's the cover to X-Men Red #2 from 2018, and it's large art as well. Another sale here by Glenn from Panel Page by Scott McDaniel. This is the splash page to Daredevil 309. Asking price was $9,500. And finally, from Anthony, this was, what do we got here? This is from Detective Comics 327 from 1964. Carmen Infantino and Joe Giella, page 9 from that issue. So, and just so everybody always knows, all I know is that the dealers mark those pieces as sold. They could have traded them. They could have taken cash and trade, you name it. All I know is that they took the item that was marked for sale, actively for sale on their site, and they marked it as sold. And when they do that, I don't know if they lowered the price. I know what the price was when they sold it. So if the piece was still marked for sale and they changed it from $10,000 to $9,000 and then marked it as sold, then I would have known it sells for $9,000. But I don't think they would do that. They would probably change and update the price for their accounting and mark it as sold at the same time. I don't know what that price is when it happens, because I'm pulling this data directly from the data that we mirror in the for sale table on CAF. So it's not like it's really synced with their data. It's our data as we know it. So, because that's public data, right? I mean, public data is what I can report on. So always remember that when we talk about dealer sales. And I did skip over, Felix actually led the way in sales, 102 sales last week, amounting to almost half, $154,000 in sales. Then Berkey was next, $67,000 in sales. Anthony next, $41,000, and Glenn came up in fourth with just under $35,000 in sales from that period. There's well, let's see. So let's move over to the auction houses. Kind of, I guess, in its own way, a down week for auction houses. $302,000 between Heritage Weekly and eBay's weekly sales. That's down from $384,000 the week before. eBay made up, see, it's almost half. They made up $154,000 from that amount. Let's see, out of that 154,000, they had 877 sales. 23 sales exceeded $1,000. Heritage, they sold 210 pieces, amounting to $147,000 in sales, and they had 40 artworks that sold for over $1,000. So let's see here. Let me get the top 3 from eBay and then the top 3 from Heritage. So eBay first. We know this seller, of course. This was Mike Mignola Hellboy illustration, originally priced $8,500, was actually sold with a make offer of what was it, $5,000. Then we've got a Don Perlin piece next. This is a Solar number 8 cover, and it sold for $6,000. And finally, from eBay, this Sal Buscema Avengers 132 page sold for $3,703.84. Then over to Heritage, we've got this Paul Gulacy, Dan Adkins, Master of Kung Fu page, sold for $7,800. Then, I featured this one last week. That was the Playboy 2-page story, Al Jaffe. This one sold for $7,800. And finally, this Charlie Adlard Walking Dead 150 cover. It sold for $5,040. So there you have it. Top auction house sales. And Chris Nork, I did just send you an email with an updated link. Hopefully that one works better than the last one I gave you. But yeah, look at that shirt. Look at this. if Albert Moy were here, he'd be screaming next to. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with that first link. I swear I got the right one, but I did just send you another one. So, oh, there you go. See, there's my pal Chris. So let's see. He's in the chat, and then he's right here with us. Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
Good. You?
Pretty good. I obviously sent you the wrong episode 128 link.
Yeah, it said 128, but then it also said like Will's Portasio, and then
see, that's
what that it was black. I was like, this isn't right.
Yep. Well, that I think I just saw the 128 and was like, all right, that's the one I need. I'll share that one. So, how are you doing tonight?
Good. Yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. So you saw that artwork? You see the little, I was scared. I mean, I think it's repairable.
I feel like you're right. I think if you put it behind glass, and let it be for a while, it should be fine.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I could, the more I looked at it, you could see the stripe, it's because it's mat board, right? And it bent, and it kind of like puckered, and kind of, you can see a couple lines on it. So even if they flatten it, I don't know if that'll go away, but I'm kind of glad that it was painted on the mat, on the board itself, rather than what I assumed was like painted and then glued on it. And that was what I was thinking.
The glue at that age too, it probably just would have cracked right off of the board.
Exactly. That's why I was really expecting it to be kind of messy. And so it's all on the board. So I think flattening it might be, might. But again, I'm gonna have to frame it though, because So anyway, so hey, I assume you're not going to be able to make it to Florida. I know you had mentioned it was a wish. But you've never said anything to me since then.
Yeah, well, work has other plans for me. I'm going to be in Germany.
Oh, well, poor you. Drinking a beer right now. Just imagine.
Been to Germany?
I have been to Germany once. I went. Gosh, I think it was in 2018. The kids were having an international Pokemon event in Berlin. So I got to go I was in Berlin for 3 days. And after I got my kids on a plane, my brother-in-law flew out, and we went to, I can't even remember the town. He used to be in the military, so he was stationed at this weird place in southern Germany. So we took a train down there, but he loves his beer. So we drank beer the whole time.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it was a great trip. I would love to go back to Germany. It was a good time. Same thing.
I'll send you photos.
Please do. Well, maybe you might see, maybe there's a gallery or something. I don't know if there are any art galleries in.
It's possible. Where I am is very tech centric, so we're gonna be in the same town where SAP is housed. So yeah, we're an SAP shop.
I've had a few friends who are into SAP as well. So that is a good profession to be in, because you will always be in demand. If you're an SAP pro, you'll never be without work.
If you put SAP on LinkedIn, you get a lot more messages. I'll tell you that much.
Heck yeah, no. I mean, I've had friends I envy them. It's like, man, why didn't I pick like a job where you're just always going to be in demand? Because
you're in demand. We wouldn't be doing this otherwise.
Well, yeah, but before I had this and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I just remember, because I had a good friend who, back when it was during my LAN playing game, days, playing Quake and stuff. One of my good friends from that period, he was SAP tech, and they were flying him all over the globe all the time. He was in the medical profession, and I was just like, man, he's got a cool job. I'm just a web designer. Why didn't I pick SAP as my background? Anyway, so what'd you think of this week? This week was kind of tough, and I do have to say, I did make a mistake when I picked the first image, but I love the image. When I made the slide, and it was actually from the week before. But Dark Phoenix, I love that. I love that piece, so I kept it in there. I was like, you know what, I'm keeping it, because
it was an eye grabber.
It was. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. And I didn't even pay attention to the date. I just thought I had it. I thought I'd filtered on the date range as it was. And then I caught it when I was doing my last picks. And I was like, I'm allowed to have a mistake every once in a while. Yeah. Some of us pick digital art every now and again. Some of us, I picked art for sale a few times. So we're allowed to make mistakes on dates and everything too.
Yeah. Yeah, Mikhail was. We had like a pity party for ourselves afterwards for a few minutes. It was fun because he did the same thing. So
right. It happens. I mean, we're all,
Mhm.
we're allowed to, we're all human around here. We're allowed to make mistakes. So here, let me go ahead and get, let's see, I got to get the right screen share. Here we go. So these were, now did you only pick 9?
Did I?
I think so. When I did my count,
Oh,
I was
Lord.
like, you only got 9, or I didn't copy paste the whole list, but yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9.
I'm losing it, Bill. I'm losing it.
You're slipping, but it's
I'll
okay.
do it. We'll do a I don't know. We'll do a long 9. How about that?
That's fine. That is fine.
So this is by well, to me, newer artist named Ethan Young. I follow him on Instagram and see a lot of stuff that he posts on Instagram. This is a commission, and I'm a big fan of when you put a ton of characters together and you do it effectively. So I think that's really the reason that I picked this piece. I always liked the Sinister Six. And so, you have all these like animal themed characters here. And so you get a lot of cool texture. Spidey, stands out a little bit from these guys because he, whether on purpose, I have to believe it's on purpose. He, the villains just look more villainous. They look more gnarly compared to Spidey, who comes away a little bit cleaner in his image here. And I just think it's a really effective composition, the way he laid these characters together.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way he was kind of doing the action lines here. Just kind of either whether it's in the Vulture's wings or Spidey's foot. There's just bits and pieces of this that I just really love. I mean, I love the composition too. I mean, the Rhino never looked so. It's like, what the heck, I mean, so
yeah,
it's great. And I wasn't familiar with them either. So this was a good pick. So you say you follow him on Instagram?
Yeah, and he's very regular, and he posts a lot of process photos, which I think is cool too. You see these pieces from start to finish. Kind of like from rough or from layout all the way through finished product. And I think he's doing a great job.
Rhino looks like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
He does. It's the teeth.
Yeah, very true. So this was in Casey A's calf gallery. So congrats on that pickup. That's cool. What do we got here next? Diogo C's calf gallery, and this was. I know. I wish I could have clicked on this one because I had to look at this one for a little bit to kind of get it. Because but it's so interesting. Ian McEwen.
Yeah, so I actually picked this for that reason. I think the thought process that went into the design of this piece is really pretty incredible. So, the pilot of the Mac is kind of like screaming in the background at what's happening to her Mac in the foreground or in the midground there. And I just thought it was such a cool way to like illustrate what's happening to kind of like, both subjects, so to speak. And then the hex design in the background, I think, is really effective too.
Yep, no, I agree on all those points. I love the trees in the foreground, kind of pointing into the characters. I mean, and it's true. I noticed the character, in the hexagonal pattern, kind of last, and that was the thing. I was like, wow, I like that even more. So yeah, no, definitely a good piece. And we got some work in process thumbnails here too.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So seeing it executed like that makes the finished product, I think, even cooler because that like they had the vision and then they really relied on the inking technique to, carry this through.
Yeah. No, nicely done. And so this a calf gallery owner I'm not familiar with, but been on the site for 4.5 years. So I'll check that out later. We get a like on that one. And let's see, David Brittingham, another collector I'm not familiar with name-wise, but this is a piece by Greg Smallwood.
This one, I mean, I'll be completely honest. I picked this because of the page layout. I mean, these like basically the absence of panel borders, but like using these little almost vignettes, these little vignette panels, and then breaking them apart, where needed, but then not when it's not needed. I just think that this is so cool. It's almost like little interstitial images that are like rapid fire cuts in a movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny when I first saw this, I didn't realize that that second tier is a full panel just because it was kind of, you got three
And
characters so
so
evenly
yeah, so is
spaced.
the fourth one.
Yeah, no, I saw the fourth one immediately, and I thought, well, that's weird. Why did he do 3, 3, 3, 1, and then 3, and then it's like, oh, it's awesome. No, I love it. I absolutely, I love it for those very same reasons. I mean, I'm a sucker for panel layouts, and this one, I
Mhm.
mean, it's just the way it's drawn. I mean, I'd be curious to see how it ended up looking in color.
Well,
Oh,
I know
great.
I've talked about this in the past, but like I really love the the decision making process that illustrators have to make. And when you're using those itty bitty little square panels, like how you crop those images is so important to the storytelling.
Yeah, you look at that. They actually, I like it where the edges aren't defined at all. But when they
Mhm.
printed it, they made the edges really crisp.
Yeah,
That's which
unfortunate.
yeah, because I love this thing. It's like in the raw, right? It's like a tote drawing.
Mhm.
It's just when he was putting this thing down, he did not really care about where the borders were,
And
even
I
though
think it's more effective that way.
oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it's so stagnant in the printed piece. So
Mhm.
gosh, this is no, this is a really nice piece, and I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with Smallwood. I'm gonna write his name
the
down here.
printed version looks almost sterile by
Yeah,
comparison. It looks like storyboards.
right. I mean, yeah, they ruined it doing the way they printed it. Yeah, the original's beautiful, man. That's great. And I love the way they've treated Moon Knight here. I mean, he's glowing practically, right? I mean, they don't need to outline parts of him. I mean, it's just really nicely done.
Moon Knight is such a fun character, I have to believe, for artists who have that like positive, negative, like that graphic sensibility, because there's so much you can do with the fact that he's just white. He's pure white.
Agreed. Great pickup, David. Congrats on that. He said panel 6 is a paste up, by the way. So, so
Yeah,
one of the
David loves contrast. I noticed in his gallery.
and there's nothing wrong with picking it up years ago and posting them now. I've I'll tell you, I had scanned a bunch of stuff before the end of 2022, hoping to get it in my calf gallery, and I didn't. So for me, it's like, well, screw it. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, it's gonna carry over, but hopefully, I'll pick up even better artwork in 2023. But
It didn't go anywhere.
it did not. It did not. But yeah, great pickup here, David. Let me get my like on that one. And then now we're in Mark Tomlinson's calf gallery, a Hostess Twinkie DC ad.
Yeah, this is my nostalgia pick for the week. I mean, these things were ubiquitous in the comics that we read, or a lot of us read as kids. And to have this be illustrated by Kurt Swan, I mean, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, no, I would. Me too. I mean, I would love to own a Hostess Twinkies Marvel ad of some kind. But there's everybody who are kind of our age group or thereabouts. We're from 40 to 70 is going to be looking for a Hostess Twinkie ad.
Right.
Yeah, this one's nice. I always thought about doing a dueling dealers kind of every so often bit with with Sharon baking something and having some thugs come in and steal
That
her
would
stuff.
be great. The snack cakes.
Right, exactly. And then you got the Thing can come in and
Yeah.
save the day, or the Hulk can do it, or Thor pops in and but it's always going to be some lackeys that steal it, because it was always some lackeys that came in and ruined the Hostess. Yeah, but we've just never. There's only so much time in the day to do them. But no, I love this. Love it too. And you're right. Having Swan do it is even better. Makes it.
And I know you like when Superman's in a vehicle for some reason, and Chuck Arnold said the same thing.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. That's again. Come on, he's the Man of Steel. He can fly through space. He does, and yet
Doesn't
he's
need to breathe. Yeah,
exactly. What's up with that?
yeah.
But
It's
no,
like when you see the Flash in a car. You're like,
right. Why would he exactly
conversation? I don't. Yeah.
Some days he just I get it. But no, nice pickup here by Mark. And I wouldn't get a DC one, but I would definitely take a Marvel one someday. Get the like over there. And now JP Crusher. This one's Dan Mora, Savage, Land Rogue. Let's click on that one, make it larger.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Savage Land Rogue is obviously it's a thing. Some guys they base half their collections around, kind of this version of the character. I pure and simple, I love Dan Mora. I mean, I love everything about this. Her hair, the character's hair is so great. The dinosaur in the background looks so good. I mean, it's clean where it needs to be, and it's like gritty where it needs to be. And he illustrates the foliage well. I mean, he's just so good. He's got a little Sean Gordon Murphy, a little Jim Lee. I mean, yeah, just love this guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never really looked at Mora's art too much, but I like this a lot. I love the different line weights. I mean, whatever he's using here, whether he's using pens or brush pens, and the tree branch to the way he's tackling the hair, to the way he's tackling putting in the depth and shading in the dinosaur. It's really, really well thought out. No, it's a great illustration. Wow. Yeah.
This could easily be a pinup from the era.
Mm-hmm. Without question. That's just really nice.
It's also cool that Mora vacillates back and forth like pretty seamlessly between digital and traditional. And so you will see, I think the bulk of his like published work is digital for deadline reasons, like a lot of people, but he will, just for whatever reason, choose to bang out some traditional pages too from time to time.
Yeah, I like that.
Hopefully for us, right?
Well, yes, we can only hope. So congrats to JP Crusher on that one. Then Phil Hester, our resident artist, also CAF member of almost 13 and a half years. So what do we got here? We have a Giffen and Larry Malstead Dr. Fate. Great combination here.
Yeah, I picked Giffen last week, and I actually picked this, picked him 2 weeks in a row deliberately, because if you look at this piece and you look at the piece that I picked last week, you can really see this illustrates, no pun intended, my point about Giffen last week, which is that like he can really go between so many different styles, and he has these periods of his work where it's very distinctive, and like when this comic was drawn based on his art. If you pair up Larry Malstead, obviously like that, helps you do the math a little bit too, but this is so different from the Silver Surfer Spider-Man piece that I picked last week. And in almost every way, you see some stylistic signature stuff, like some of the inking or, some of the like power effects, I guess, are Giffen-esque for sure. And some of the angularity of the figures is Giffen-esque, but it's clearly like a different vibe than he was going for in that other piece. Yeah,
no, it's a great piece. I saw this one too, because Giffen's one of my keyword searches. So I just love his work. Same for you. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to miss anything that comes up by Giffen. I mean, sometimes it's not like the best stuff, but I mean, most of the time there's something like this that just has a lot of interesting things going on in it. So yeah. And he's somebody I can't, maybe I do have a piece by Keith, but somebody who I would love to own multiple pieces by him, just because I just love his work so much. And
and I guess you can have like 15 different Giffen pages, and they might look 15 different ways.
Yeah, true.
And I don't mean that as a dig. I mean that as an amazing compliment. I mean, he can really, the level of mastery I feel like you have to achieve to be able to be a chameleon like that is something else.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a really, really nice pickup here for Phil. And again, if you haven't ever visited Phil Hester's CAF gallery, he's got an amazing collection of art. He's an incredibly talented artist. And we've only had him on a Comic Art Live panel once for only an hour. And he talked mostly about the art he collected. I mean, I don't think he really didn't talk about his career at all. So he's somebody
if I had a gallery, I wouldn't shut up. I
know. Well, I got to get him on a 2-hour interview so we can talk to him at length, because I remember that I could tell how excited he was to be showing off the pieces of art that he was doing. I didn't get to do that interview either, so yeah, I gotta
he owns the Mobius Punisher. I mean, that's yes. What else do you need? I don't need to say anything else.
No, you don't. Yeah, I'll have to work on getting him on the show. All right. So Scott Eater. Scott had I was actually going to pick a piece by Scott, and then you got this one first. So congrats on picking the Chris Ware. This I would have picked this one, or maybe I'll show off the other piece as well. But I mean, Scott was definitely he saved up and posted a bunch of nice artwork all at once.
I thought that was a cool thing to do, like as almost like a follow on to his recent interview. So, yeah, this is just pure design and draftsmanship on display. I mean, I'm hard pressed to somebody who is like cleaner and more thought out and better executed than Ware.
Yeah, I agree. This is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. There's so many panels, so much going on here, so many opportunities to make a mistake, right? And I'm looking for whiteout. Actually, I'm not really seeing any. Oh, I found one right there.
There you go. Yep.
Finally, I mean, this is pretty incredible.
But even to make a a visual mistake, right? But it's all aces. It's all absolutely, perfectly thought out and executed.
Yep, and his lettering is always awesome.
I mean, yeah,
it's gorgeous. Wow. Well, congrats to Scott on that one. Let me see. What was the piece I was going to pick that I skipped over?
Was there a Charles Burns that he posted?
It was a Burns. Yeah. I think you're right. Where was that? Yeah, I was going to go with this one. So now I get to show it anyway. So there you go. Charles Burns. My like on that, since I didn't do that earlier. I mean, come on. This stuff is great.
Yeah.
He's got a good eye for wonderful underground artworks. And wow, I just love that piece. So there, I got it in anyway, even though I didn't pick it.
That's like my pseudo 10th. How about that?
There you go. All right, we got 10 in now. Lee Banaka, we've had him on for an interview not too terribly long ago. This is World's Finest Comics page from Don Newton, Dave Hunt, amazing inker Dave Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Lee wrote the book.
Newton, no slouch.
Yeah, that's true.
So Don Newton's an artist that I kind of came to appreciate, I guess, a little bit later in life. He always seemed really like a journeyman to me, kind of like a DC Sal Buscema, so to speak. But I think much like Sal, he got his due, eventually. I think there's a lot of Don Newton fans out there. These are, obviously this is comics that like were coming out when I was a little kid. And I just love the power on this page. Those first couple, actually the first 3 panels. Yeah. I mean, there's so much weight and there's so much power to those figures. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I love, I was looking at the way the first 2 panels have the Patum and the Thum. They're really kind of drawn in there. This Karash looks a little weird, but oh man, you're right. I mean, the action in those first 3 panels are amazing. And it's again, it's an interesting panel choice. I mean, I wouldn't. It's like, why did he didn't need to do that? But I guess we want to maybe show a little bit more of this electrified character over here. But an interesting choice to do that. And no, love it. And you're right, Don Newton. Looking at it, he is somebody who, obviously, not being a DC guy, I pretty much missed out on his style. But you can definitely see that Dave Hunt is doing a really great job embellishing the pencils for Newton. You can see a
lot of weight there.
Yeah, this is nice. Good job for both of them. And so congrats to Lee. And Lee did write a book about Dave Hunt, so he's a huge fan and picks up quite a few pieces by him. And let's see what we got here. Wasn't this Seamus and Sharon's calf gallery, a pencil piece by Ivan Rice.
Yeah, I actually picked this deliberately because it was a pencil piece. I love the gradation of tone here. I love how tightly rendered this whole thing is. I think Reyes can get kind of like wild and loose at times a little bit, like especially once he's inked. But like this is just so absolutely dialed in. I love the character designs. This book was kind of a homage or like pastiche of Fantastic Four. So you've got like Metamorpho standing in as the Thing, and obviously I'm an FF fan, so that appeals to me. But I mean, the figures are just perfectly drawn. The anatomy's great, and then you get to do fun stuff with like Plastic Man and Metamorpho, where they can be so like extremely distorted and things like that, and he does that so well.
Yeah, no, it's a great composition on the cover. I think Seamus even mentioned that in his brief description. Overall composition has a more symmetric balance feel. I mean, yeah, I mean it's a well designed page. It's fun, and the penciling in this thing is gorgeous. I mean, even in I love the cross hatching in here. It
Mhm.
is really really
And
nice.
yeah, the draftsmanship is just top tier.
Yeah, oh, it's lovely. Congrats to Seamus and Sharon. So got my like on that one. All right, let me see if I can pull up the pics that I got here.
Did you experience the same thing where you were kind of like, I feel like it was a hangover after the glut of last week, where it was like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
last week was
30 pieces.
I know. Well, yes, exactly. It was definitely different. But most people coming off the new year and everything, and the best of right there. Everybody was very busy posting artwork, the week before. So I get it. I mean, I would, like I said, I didn't post anything like I thought. All right, let's see. Here's that, and where are you? There it is, and share it there. Let's get the screen straightened out a bit here. There we go. All right. So this was a piece that I was talking about. It was the graphic used for the show by Colton Worley. I think this is the second time we've talked about Colton, because I think Aranga had
Yes.
those Spider-Man pieces that we saw maybe a month or so ago. So when I saw Colton's piece here, I mean, I was blown away immediately on the thumbnail, just because it was such a hot, warm graphic, in a sea of black and white pieces. So I had to check it out, and I love it. I mean, I think did it say that it was also okay? It was on unstretched canvas, which I think is really cool. So they gessoed on a piece of yeah, and then to me, that's like. That it's actually kind of part of the attraction to the piece, was just knowing that it was done on canvas. Again, I think it's really well done. I mean, like, just kind of zoom in on it so you can see the detail. And I always love seeing stuff like that. I love when you see the gesso work underneath it. It just adds a little something.
Oh, you totally can on right there on the left side for sure. Yeah, there's a ton of texture.
Yep, and it does. It makes for such an interesting thing. When I was in art college, I would always like try to play around with how I was going to like paint, the gesso on a board or on the canvas, and because I love seeing effects like that. I think it just adds a little extra depth to it, and so it just makes this piece all the more interesting. The lighting on it's great. I don't really, you see, I don't know. I guess that Cyclops is down there. Maybe that's Wolverine, but she's but Phoenix is just gorgeous in this piece. I love the way it was painted, and again, that was, I think, similar to what we liked about Colton's Spider-Man pieces, was the use of color in them. I mean, it's tough to paint in these really vibrant colors and get it to pull it off and have it work. And this is just so well done.
There's so much tonality here too. I mean, he's going all the way from black all the way, down to black all the way up to white.
Agreed. Yeah, and even I love the little outline there around the character. It's done. But so Dark Phoenix, wonderful pickup here. You scored a good one with this one. So we're so far zoomed in we can't see the whole thing. But yeah, there you go. That could be card art. It's just a great image.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I love the temperature of the piece is terrific.
Yep. Awesome piece here. Almost looks statuesque, says Gil. Agreed. Yeah, this is it's a good one. Let's see. And there were a few pieces that I skipped over that I was like, well, I could pick them because I know you're used to me picking certain things, but I had to pick this one from Fish's Calf Gallery. I mean, it's John Buscema. You got Galactus. You got Mephisto. I mean, this thing is, I just loved it. Yeah, it's like I can't not pick it. I know we pick a lot of cosmic-ish pages and whatnot, and Galactus comes up a lot, and we pick a lot of John Buscema, but this is just a great image. I mean, I love it. I mean, Mephisto along with Galactus are like my two favorite villains, I think, out that are in Marvel, more so than Thanos or anything. I've always just loved those two characters, and so this is awesome. And so Fish's Calf Gallery continues to explode with wonderful pieces.
Absolutely. What I think is so cool about this is how he's bringing together kind of the two worlds, right? You've got the
Mm.
cosmic Galactus and you've got the, I guess more arcane or, whatever, biblical almost Mephisto. And he does it with the inking too. Like the inking on Galactus has the like, hard line, like, Kirby kind of Sinnott look to it. Nova, Nova,
Mhm.
same thing. And then Mephisto has the scratchier, Conan like inks that we know from him.
True. No, I didn't even really think about that, but you're right. I mean, the way he's kind of divided the page between the
Yep.
two. Yeah, that is very. That's another piece. So, yeah, this is a great one. And Fish, I mean, congrats, man. He continues to find these gems out there. This is a good one. Get the like on that one. Then this is in Khalil's calf gallery, and I mentioned it on the piece, the Evans piece, right? The first one that you had. I loved it for the shield here. To be honest with you, I just love that the shield is just drawn as these action lines, right? I mean, he's not worrying about outlining it, and he kind of merges it in with the action lines in the back. The fist becomes an action line. So I just dug it. I love that. And like panel layout again on this one was cool, but I loved it for this one panel here. Just his approach to drawing the shield. It's just great.
If Cap's throwing his shield, I mean that's probably going to be a pretty cool page. But to see it, I mean, to your point, the level of movement that's happening in that fourth panel is really over the top, and I love it too.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one. And I should say this was Chris Samney as well. And it was
this was a very talky book when Wade and Somney were on this book.
Okay.
And this is a non-talky page, so it's valued.
Very nice. So from Cap 699. Let's see here. What do we got next? Steve Lytle trading card art with Phoenix. I mean, I love Lytle's work. I mean, it's nostalgic for me. I just his style. I mean, I can whenever his style is so easy for me to pick out when I see it, and I've always just been a huge fan. And this, I've never seen. Trading cards and things weren't stuff that I collected, so it's not an image I'm familiar with. But I just loved it. I loved it. I love the way he, his treatment on the figure. I just love his inking style. I love his signature. I kind of just love everything that he does. So yeah, this is nicely done, and I don't know. I can't. It's nostalgic without me even knowing that. Because it's Steve more than anything.
Yeah, that's my favorite iteration of Phoenix. I always like the Rachel Phoenix the best, probably because of Excalibur.
Sure.
I definitely liked it for that reason. But I always really liked how cool. The cool stuff that artists would do with like the look of her face and her hair, and he nails that here, where it's kind of like it's just all energy, but then she's got her facial tattoos as like those markings. That's just such a cool effect.
Yeah, agreed. But see, I see something like this. I gotta get something by Steve Lytle in my collection. I've never owned anything by him. Man, I love this. Who owned this one? FM. From Bell, FM, longtime calf member, as you can see, almost 18 years, has an amazing collection. So somebody you should definitely check out if you haven't been in their calf gallery in a while. Then Gene Hoppies, I love his stuff, especially when he's doing these water. I'm assuming it's ink wash. It's just so delicate and nicely done. And I thought I could click on this one. I just love it. I mean, I just love his style. I think he can do really detailed stuff when he's painting like this, or things like I just love like these three figures here as they get less detailed as you kind of go from foreground to background on them. I mean, it's just so same thing here. I mean, the figures in the foreground dancing, and then the figures in the back, less detail. I mean, there's so much you can do when you're painting versus illustrating with a pen or brushwork with ink that you just can't do otherwise. And this is just I love this piece. I love it.
He has such a classic style, and honestly, on some level, he's always reminded me of British artists. I guess I don't know why that is. Maybe it's what he chooses to You know, how he chooses to do his panels. Like, there's a lot packed into some of these, which I think is, you know, very like UK type of thing to do. But like the fact that he's able to kind of illustrate Black Widow's entire origin in that little montage, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. See, and Gene's somebody I've never owned anything by, but I see something like this. It's like, damn it, I gotta get a piece from him too. So this is really, really nice.
I have
like
one piece from him, and I don't know if he's based nearby Chicago, but he seems to do every Chicago show. And what a terrific guy! What a nice person.
I've never met him.
Yeah, just super.
Well, this one, this is a keeper here. So congrats to Comic Art Boston. I don't know if he's still in the audience or not, but it's a gorgeous piece. Calf Gallery continues to get better too. And thanks, you know, Cabs, he supports everybody. He's in everybody's shows, and he's always, you know, it's always nice to have a force like that always around supporting everybody.
And great taste.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. He's got very great taste. He did end up picking up the piece from the Make Offer show too that we did on Monday. I mean, he's just always very supportive. So this one, let me give me a like on that. Right, did I get it? Yeah. All right. So we are in Stephen Yarish's Calf Gallery, and what more can you say? You get a Herb Trimpe Godzilla cover, right? This was one of the more funny stories from the Godzilla lines. You know, he gets shrunk and everything, and you know, I remember this would have been something I would have bought off the newsstands. But I mean, it's just fun, and it's Herb Trimpe, and it's not Trimpe drawing Hulk, but you know, it doesn't matter. He's drawn Godzilla. I mean, I've got a Trimpe Godzilla interior page. I just love you know, monster books in general, but this one, you know, just turns Godzilla on his head, and so it's just for me, it's just a fun piece, well drawn. You know, Joe's inks aren't too bad on this either, and yeah, got lots of bricks on it as well.
Bricks, because Godzilla's tiny.
Exactly. Yeah, it is a killer cover, Nick. I completely agree. And Nick mentions that Gene does live in Chicago.
Yeah, so I just assumed he did based on the fact that he's so consistent at those shows.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, congrats to Steven on this pick. I mean, I don't know if he did write a little bit here, but I remember I saw his post in one of the Facebook groups, and he was just like blown away that, you know, I own a Godzilla cover. Who you know, who would have thought that would be? And so it's that kind of stuff. I love that part of the hobby when you know, it's like when you're so overjoyed, you're like, you think you can never own something, and then there it is. It's in your collection. It's yours. So there's no greater feeling than that. And so congrats to Steve on this one. Let's see. Next up, Dick Dillon. And you know, it's a Hawkman page. What was it from? Hawkman 27 splash. Just, you know, I don't pick enough DC, as everybody knows. So but I'm a sucker for title pages. And so you get it's a really nice composition on this piece. And you know, I just liked it a whole lot. And I'm
a low-key Hawk fan.
Well, you know, I think it's, you know, God, the more I keep seeing those Kubert Hawkman pages, the more I want to own one. So I think you're right. Maybe I am becoming a Hawkman fan because I love this. I mean, I love both of these characters on this page, the way they're drawn, and yeah, dang it. See, I'm just the more I look at it, but again, it's you know, it's a title page too. I love the hand lettered stuff going on here. This is just a funky word balloon to throw it in. I mean, it's just
the
fun
exposition there's fun. Yeah,
right. It's a fun gateway into this book, right? I mean, it kind of makes you like, I want to read on. You know, what are these burglars doing? Whatever. But I mean, it's cool. Must be the leopard burglars we've been after for so long. See, and then I read that and I'm thinking, this is why I didn't read DC.
Put yourself in the shoes of the burglars, though. So you're doing your thing. You're gonna do your second story job or whatever. You're gonna get your diamonds, and then all of a sudden, these two freaks in Hawk outfits bust you up.
Wielding a mace is gonna come down and crack your skull.
Yeah, you want to get hit by a mace?
I still like it. So nice Dick Dillon piece here, and let me get the like on this one. This is in Dan Gallo's Calf Gallery. How long has Dan been on the site? 2005. 18 years. It's his anniversary this month.
Wow.
So congrats to Dan for sticking with CAF for that long and for still, collecting. This is a page from 1968. Wow. A couple more here. This is Jeff Singh. There's some topless, Sally Forth, but I had to pick it because I don't think we've probably ever picked anything by Sally Forth before. But this is a 50-year-old page, 51, I guess now, Wally Wood piece, and just fun. I love, Wally Wood drew a lot of fun, crazy stuff, and this is one that I guess it's a good thing I can't click on it to make it bigger, but again, it's just fun, and I don't think have I ever no Berkey's never had a Sally Forth when I've been with them. I've seen a few other like strip related stuff from Wally Wood, but cool stuff, cool to see, cool to have on CAF. Jeff Singh, he's got one of the best galleries on CAF. And he posted a lot of cool stuff at the end of the year, and he's big. He's a big strip collector, and I guess in more ways than one with this piece. But cool to see. I love seeing stuff like this on CAF.
Well, and Wally Wood, he could draw everything so well. To these old strips where you've got like realistic looking characters and gorgeous women and like hunky dudes and whatever, mixed in with these goofy looking, the guy with the top hat and the monocle. To put those things in the same composition and just execute on it at the level that he does is amazing. What an incredible illustrator.
Yep. Nope. I agree. I've always wanted to get some kind of strip art from Wally Wood, and I just haven't really found anything. I'd love to get a Sky Masters, right? Where that
Kirby Wood.
Kirby, right. But I've always wanted to get one of these too, just because I just think they're so interesting and a part of Wood's past that I think is cool, and it's just and so it's nice to see these pieces still out there, but they don't come up that often. So, but Jeff he's got a nose for finding great artwork, and so keeping with the strip theme here, Tony Marine picked up this Rip Kirby by Alex Raymond.
Oh,
I know, isn't it nice? I love Alex Raymond stuff is just awesome. The Rip Kirby, stuff is great. I love every one of these panels. They just work so dang well.
and the level of realism, my God,
this thing kills me when I see this thing. It's like, damn, man, everything about it. Look at that last panel.
Yeah,
jeez, oh man,
look at the fabric, just the fabric.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is awesome. I've got gosh.
Look at the fabric in the first panel. These guys' jackets are
There's like not one thing wrong with this page. It is so good. Everything about it. Look at the hair on the side of this guy's head. I love the way it's drawn.
Oh my God.
This is such a perfect strip. Damn it, man. And so I can only imagine when Tony saw this, because he's got a good eye for a lot of different artworks. But let's see, of all the rips I've owned, this one is my favorite. Raymond got better and better as the strip went on, and the final year has some of my favorite examples. He would die tragically 2 months after this was printed.
Oh my God.
That's just but yeah, gosh, I don't want to zoom in on it again because I'm just going to gawk and drool a little bit, but yeah, this is an amazing example of Alex Raymond art.
Yeah, and you're forced to wonder what else would he have accomplished? Like, what would he have done?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave a comment, and I almost never do. What did Marcus say? The ability to draw fingerprints in this size with the tools he had is pretty fine work beyond expectations. It's true, man. Oh man, oh man. All right, that is such a nice piece. Congrats to Tony on that one. And then I picked this one. Well, actually, I didn't even realize that. And deservedly so. Colin featured this one. I didn't know that. Go figure. I didn't read that daily email, but it was Boris Vallejo's birthday on the 8th, and so I was picked
82. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. So I picked it for that very same reason. I was like, it's Boris's birthday this week, and I'd seen it on Facebook. There was a mention. A lot of people were congratulating him for that, and I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna pick a Boris piece, and this one was in circulation. So there you go. So Colin picked it as well. I did not realize that, but I love Boris's stuff. They could say, there's a little Frazetta and a lot of people who do stuff in this genre, but Boris, he's definitely, you can tell him apart from anybody else, that are doing it, whether it's Frazetta or Ken Kelly. And it's so great to have Boris still doing artwork like this, because he still exhibits at the IX show every year with his wife Julie Bell. They each have their own gallery space at IX, and he's just an incredibly nice guy to talk to. He's very open about chatting about pretty much anything. He's just a super duper incredibly nice guy, and again, his artwork's amazing. And even with the skulls in here, Marcus, I had to pick this piece. But yeah, so congrats to Boris for making another trip around the sun, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So that's my final pick. Those are my 10.
Good stuff. Good stuff all around.
And good picks from you as well. So do you want one of these? Look at that.
Yeah. 100% I do. I think everybody in the chat wants one.
Yes, as soon as I get that graphic, I'll put it up in the story. Because I literally, I'm not kidding you. I'll pull it up and I'll show you. Mine pales in comparison to this. Let's see, where the heck is it? My account. There it is. Sorry, I don't go to it that often, but I did. I literally was like, I've got to post that darn. Make mine Moidoc someday.
Comic Art Boston's got a great idea in the chat.
Let's see. I think we should all wear it in form of flash mob and surround.
Can you imagine his face if that happened?
Yeah. Well, hey, trust me. Wherever he is and I am the next time, I am wearing this shirt. So yeah. See, I just made this. I literally posted this like 2 days ago. So it's so ironic, that I got this from Alex. I had no idea. He didn't tell me what he was sending me. So yeah, I'm going to take mine down and replace it with the next one, because
I love it.
It's so darn good. He will say next. Exactly. Yes, yours. Mine was the photo. It's different. I could leave it up there, but I think people are going to go for this one. It's too good.
It's terrific, and the next really makes it.
Oh yeah, and I remember when I originally was thinking of mine, I was going to have him say next, and I totally forgot. And then there we go. Maybe well, I'll leave them both up, but either way, yes, everybody has to pick one of these up and wear it to the next show that that you're going to see Albert, whether it's San Diego or New York Comic Con or wherever the heck Albert's going to be setting up this year. So, all right, let me close that. But Chris, as always, lots of fun. I did extend an invite to Chuck for the first Thursday of February. I did see a reply from him tonight, but I'll let you know if he was up for that night or not. But outside of that, anybody knows, we're first Thursdays. We always invite somebody to come in and be my guest, replace Chris for the night, do some picks for me. It's fun. It's challenging. It takes a little bit of time. Oh, so okay, good. Chuck is in for the first.
That's going to be a good one.
Just you can't pick all Frank Quitely art. Just remember that.
Yeah, you can't pick all. Let's see. You can't pick all Chaykin art. You can't pick all Quitely art. You should be safe then.
That's true. That is very true. But I'm looking for a day before my 50th, so he'll be hammered. Well, that's going to be an interesting show.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Chuck. Chuck. I don't think we've had anybody on like that close to their 50th birthday, so it'll be fun. We'll have to have some balloons. I'll come up with something. We'll have a fun night that night. But yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So, Chris, as always, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. And I'm always jealous. You get to start your drinking before I do every single time we do this.
Well, you could start. You could start now.
Well, I am. I wait till the show's over and then I have my first beer.
All right.
So, but again, thank you, and I'll see you next week, as always.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
So yeah, fantastic show, everybody. I had a lot of fun with this one. We did it was cool. I like doing the discovering the comic books in the middle of nowhere. That was fun. And doing the little meme bit, I thought you guys would appreciate, and getting to open up that piece of art and have it not be damaged. I mean, I was very concerned going through that. And then all this the fun stuff we got. I got that great t-shirt from Felix as well. Look at that. The wall power. Look at that. Wall power in gold, no less. Yeah, that's cool. That is very cool. So I'll be wearing that the next time I get to see Felix. I got a couple emails asking me about Heroes as well, whether or not we were going to be doing anything special there. And I can tell you, of course, I am definitely going to be going to Heroes. I have not talked to George Hodge yet. I'll probably reach out to him tomorrow or this weekend just to see, are we going to do a kind of meetup like we did last year? Felix, and the reason I'm reminded of that is because I talked with Felix, months ago, and he was talking about wanting to do something at Heroes as well. So I'll probably try to loop everybody in and see if we can't come up with a interesting event to do the Friday night before Heroes starts. So, maybe I'll have an update for everybody in a few weeks, but I'm definitely going, and I hope that many of you are going to Heroes as well, because that was the event of the season last year for certain. And, I'd like to think that we'll be able to put some kind of special event together there as well. So I'll be in touch with George. I'll talk to Felix, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I can. So outside of that, and the fact that it does smell like cake in here, thanks to Sharon's Buy Hard cake, I'm going to call it a night, and I hope everybody else has a great one too. Thank you for hanging out with me this long, and for, being fun in the chat as always. And yes, as Kazra says, as we know, MODOK has stolen the show. Or Moidoc, but it is MODOK at the end of the day. So yes, I will enjoy my evening, Matt. I'm looking forward to that amateur show pro-am show between you and Anthony next month. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and I have the whole weekend off, so I'll see you next Monday with the Ellery Santos show, and Jiggy will be with me as well while we talk about Ellery's career and sell a few pieces of art, and it'll be a great time. So have a wonderful weekend, and don't forget to tune in to Nick's show tomorrow at 7. Good evening.